Tonight we're diving deep, and I mean several hours deep, into the world of Pokémon Legends ZA. This isn't just another trailer breakdown. It's not a fast-paced, hype-fueled analysis filled with speculation and speed. No, this is a slow, detailed journey. A calm unraveling of everything we know and everything we think we know about one of the most intriguing Pokémon games in years. Think of it as a very, very long bedtime story. But instead of knights and castles, we have Kalos and concrete, mega evolution and city planning, shiny hunting and mysterious towers. Whether you're here to drift off, study in the background, or sink into some cozy lore, you're in the right place. Before we begin, thank you for being here. Truly, if you enjoy this kind of long-form Pokémon content, calm, immersive, and meant to feel like you're hanging out with a friend, a like or sub means the world. We're building something quiet and thoughtful here. What about you? What's your favourite Pokémon in Legends ZA? Or how's your shiny hunt been going lately? I love reading through your stories in the comments. Now, let's settle in. We're not just skimming the surface of Legends ZA, we're going all the way down, into the lore, the setting, the subtext. We're talking about why Kalos was chosen, why Mega Evolution is back, and what it means for the future of the Pokémon franchise. I'll share what I've gathered from dissecting every trailer frame, analysing every official interview, and poring over the smallest developer comments and community theories. Together, we'll examine the game's design decisions, its commercial implications, and how it fits into Nintendo's broader console strategy. Think of yourself as a detective, and this video is the corkboard. Except instead of suspects and string, we've got map layouts, evolution mechanics, and mysterious silhouette screenshots. We'll cover why Lumiose City feels both familiar and reimagined, a nostalgic return layered with narrative tension about urban redevelopment. We'll explore why combining starters from multiple generations hints at a remixing of Pokémon history, rather than following traditional regional structure. And we'll touch on why Legends may no longer just mean a historical prequel, but instead a new kind of storytelling entirely. And yes, we'll go deep into those real-time battles, those dynamic night zones, and what they might suggest about the direction of Pokémon gameplay going forward. So dim your lights, get cozy, let your thoughts slow down. This is a calm, thoughtful descent into the details. 6.5 hours of theory, analysis, and lore that you can fall asleep to, or stay awake with. Either way, the world of Pokémon Legends ZA is waiting. Let's begin. Chapter 1, Welcome Back to Kalos, a nostalgic return. Remember those late nights, flickering screen, the hum of your old 3DS, and the vibrant world of Kalos unfolding before your very eyes? The music swelling, the anticipation of a new Pokémon encounter lurking around every corner. Yeah, good times. It's funny, isn't it? How the game can etch itself into your memory, becoming more than just pixels and code. It becomes a feeling, a memory, a part of your own personal history. And for many of us, Pokémon X and Y, set in the stunning Kalos region, did just that. Then, out of nowhere, the announcement. A simple trailer, a logo, and a title that sent shockwaves through the Pokémon community. Pokémon Legends ZA. And suddenly, all those memories, all that nostalgia came flooding back. The reaction was, well, electric. The internet exploded with speculation, excitement, and a healthy dose of disbelief. Were we really going back to Kalos? Was this some elaborate prank? Or was this the real deal? A chance to revisit a beloved region in a brand new light? For those who poured hundreds of hours into X and Y exploring every nook and cranny of Lumiose City, battling the Elite Four and unraveling the mysteries of Mega Evolution, the announcement was a welcome surprise, a chance to reconnect with a world that felt both familiar and exciting. But it wasn't just nostalgia driving the hype. It was the promise of something different. The Legends title hinted at a deeper dive into the region's history, a chance to explore the origins of Kalos and its Pokémon in a way we'd never seen before. Think about it. The original X and Y were groundbreaking in their own right, introducing us to a 3D Pokémon world on the handheld. They brought us the flair of French inspiration, the sleek style, and the unique Pokémon designs. But there were also unanswered questions, loose threads. The story, while enjoyable, felt somewhat incomplete to some. Mega Evolution, a revolutionary mechanic, was only explored on a surface level, leaving many to wonder about its true origins and potential. And the character of AZ, the ancient king with a tragic past, remained a fascinating enigma. Pokémon Legends ZA offers the chance to address these lingering questions, to delve deeper into the lore of Kalos, and to provide a more complete and satisfying narrative experience. This isn't just a rehash of X and Y, it's a chance to see Kalos through a different lens, to understand its past, and to witness its evolution. The initial trailer focused heavily on Lumiose City, showcasing its iconic prism tower and its sprawling urban landscape. But something was different. The city appeared to be undergoing a significant transformation, with construction sites and futuristic designs hinting at a major urban redevelopment project. This immediately sparked a flurry of theories. What was the purpose of this redevelopment? What impact would it have on the environment and the Pokémon that inhabit the region? And what role would the player play in this grand urban experiment? The prospect of exploring a revitalized Lumiose City, with new areas to discover and new challenges to overcome, was incredibly enticing. Imagine soaring through the city's skyline on a mega-evolved Pokémon, witnessing the transformation firsthand and uncovering the secrets hidden beneath the surface. But the return to Kalos wasn't just about revisiting familiar places, it was about reimagining them. From the moment we stepped back into Lumiose City, it was clear. This wasn't the Kalos we remembered. It was familiar, yes, but it pulsed with something new. The Legends title wasn't just a stylistic flourish, it meant a change, in tone, in gameplay, and in the way we connect with the Pokémon world. Much like Pokémon Legends, Arceus before it, ZA broke from tradition. Open exploration, real-time engagements, a focus on immersion and discovery over rigid progression. The groundwork laid by Arceus was strong, but ZA took that foundation and built something even bolder, a living, breathing metropolis surrounded by untamed wilds, where story and mechanics felt more deeply entwined than ever. Now that the game is in our hands, we can say this with certainty. Legends ZA delivered on many of the promises that once filled our comment sections and Reddit threads with speculation, and it also surprised us with new lore, unexpected mechanics, and a tone that was both reflective and forward-looking. The return of legendary Pokémon like Xerneas, Yveltal and Zygarde wasn't just fan service, it was meaningful. Their presence was woven directly into the story's heart, raising real questions about the balance of life, destruction and order in a city trying to rebuild itself from within. And then, of course, there was Pokémon Z. Many of us thought Z would be a new form of Zygarde, or maybe even an entirely new entity. But now, after seeing how the story unfolds, it's safe to say Game Freak surprised us again. Whether you were expecting something ancient, futuristic, or symbolic, the truth of Pokémon Z's role in the narrative turned out to be something deeper, something that tied into the themes of progress, identity, and the cost of reinvention. If you finished the story, you know exactly what I mean. And if not, well, no spoilers here. Just know, the wait was worth it. The return of Mega's evolution was another hot topic, and now that we've seen it in action, it's clear it wasn't just brought back for nostalgia. Mega Evolution is integral to how this world works, not only mechanically but thematically. It ties into the very infrastructure of the new Kalos, its technology, its politics, its energy. From the labs in Lumiose's outskirts to the underground movements in the city's shadows, Mega Evolution is no longer just a battle gimmick, it's a force that shapes the region's future. Some of us had theories that Mega Evolution would be linked to the redevelopment of Lumiose, or even to the mysterious Pokémon Z itself, and those predictions weren't far off. The integration of old mechanics into new systems felt seamless. Mega Evolution, urban planning and regional history all collided into one layered experience. And perhaps that's what makes ZA feel so rich. It's not just a new Pokémon game, it's a statement. A reflection on how the franchise is evolving, just like the creatures at its core. The city changes, the mechanics change, the themes mature. But the emotional connection, that childhood spark, remains. Looking back, it's hard not to smile at the memory of that first trailer. Just a few minutes long, but it ignited something big. A wave of theories, a rush of excitement, the buzz of community. We wondered what Kalos would become, and now we know. But here's the thing, Pokémon Legends. ZA didn't just recapture Kalos, it redefined it. What was once a bright, almost dreamlike region now feels lived in, complex, real. It's no longer just a place we journey through, it's a place we reckon with. And if you felt that tug of nostalgia, as you walked those Lumiose boulevards for the first time in years, you weren't alone. Still, the experience raises bigger questions. Was this return to Kalos a one-time gift, or the start of something larger, a new path for future Legends titles to explore other regions in this deeper, more emotional style? What does this mean for Unova, for Johto, for the regions we've yet to revisit? Whatever comes next, one thing is clear. Pokémon Legends ZA isn't just a callback, it's a cornerstone. It reminded us why we fell in love with Pokémon in the first place, and gave us a new reason to keep loving it now. And with that, let's take a closer look at the city at the centre of it all, its changes, its challenges, and the deeper meaning behind its redesign. Chapter 2, Lumiose City, Urban Redevelopment and a New Perspective.
Lumiose City. Just the name conjures up images, doesn't it? The Eiffel Tower-esque prism tower piercing the sky, the bustling streets, the aroma of fresh pastries wafting from every corner. But what if I told you that the Lumiose City we remember, the one etched in our minds from X and Y, is not quite the Lumiose City we're getting in Legends ZA? That's right. Urban redevelopment. Those two words hang heavy in the air, promising both exciting possibilities and unsettling questions. What does it for Lumiose City to be redeveloped? Are we talking about a fresh coat of paint and some new shops, or a complete overhaul of the city's infrastructure and design? Think about it. We're not just revisiting a place, we're witnessing a transformation. A transformation that, given the Legends title, likely has deep roots in the history and lore of the Kalos region. And that, my friends, opens the door to some truly fascinating plot lines. One of the most intriguing possibilities revolves around the social impact of this redevelopment. Who benefits from these changes? Are certain groups being displaced or marginalized in the process? Could a story that explores themes of inequality, gentrification, and the struggle for resources in a rapidly changing urban environment? Imagine a scenario where the construction efforts are disrupting the lives of ordinary citizens, forcing them to relocate or face economic hardship. Perhaps a group of Pokémon trainers, united by a shared sense of injustice, rises up to challenge the powerful forces behind the redevelopment project. It's a classic underdog story, but with a uniquely Pokémon twist. And then there's the environmental angle. Urban redevelopment is rarely without its ecological consequences. Are the construction crews demolishing vital habitats? Are they polluting the air and water with their activities? Could a conflict between those who prioritize progress and those who seek to protect the natural world? Picture this. A team of scientists discovers that the redevelopment is threatening a rare species of Pokémon that lives only within the city limits. They launch a desperate campaign to raise awareness and halt the construction. But they face fierce opposition from the developers who are determined to push forward with their plans, consequences be damned. These are just a few of the potential plot lines that could emerge from the urban redevelopment of Lumiose City. And the beauty of it is that they all tap into real-world issues that resonate with us on a deeper level. It's not just about catching Pokémon, it's about exploring the complexities of society and the challenges we face in building a sustainable future. But let's not get too caught up in the doom and gloom. Redevelopment can also bring positive change. New technologies, improved infrastructure, and a more vibrant cultural scene could all be part of the equation. Perhaps the game will explore the ways in which Lumiose City is adapting to the challenges of the modern world, embracing innovation while still preserving its unique identity. Consider the possibility that the redevelopment is driven by a desire to create a more eco-friendly city. Perhaps the architects are incorporating green spaces, renewable energy sources, and sustainable building materials into their designs. It could be a vision of a future where urban development and environmental protection go hand in hand. And let's not forget the potential for new social connections to be forged in the midst of this transformation. As people from different backgrounds come together to rebuild their city, they might discover common ground and form unexpected alliances. It could be a story about the power of community and the resilience of the human spirit. Now, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds very serious for a Pokémon game. But remember, the Legends series is all about pushing boundaries and exploring new territory. It's about taking familiar elements and reimagining them in unexpected ways. And I believe that the urban redevelopment of Lumiose City provides the perfect backdrop for a story that is both engaging and thought-provoking. We also have to consider the possibility that this redevelopment isn't entirely benevolent. What if there's a hidden agenda behind all the construction and renovation? What if a shadowy organization is using the redevelopment as a cover for their own nefarious purposes? Imagine a scenario where the developers are secretly searching for a powerful artifact hidden beneath the city. They're using the construction as a way to dig undetected, all while keeping the public in the dark about their true motives. It could be a thrilling mystery that unfolds as you explore the city and uncover its secrets. Or perhaps the redevelopment is part of a larger plot to control the flow of energy within the Kalos region. Maybe the developers are building a massive power plant that will drain the region's natural resources and leave the environment devastated. It could be a story about the dangers of unchecked corporate power and the importance of environmental stewardship. The possibilities are endless. And that's what makes this urban redevelopment angle so exciting. It's a blank canvas upon which the developers can paint a story that is both compelling and relevant. But let's take a step back for a moment and consider the implications of this redevelopment from a gameplay perspective. How will it affect the way we explore Lumiose City? Will we be able to access new areas that were previously inaccessible? Will we encounter new challenges and obstacles as we navigate the construction zones? Imagine having to sneak past security guards and navigate through scaffolding to reach a hidden area. Or perhaps you'll have to use your Pokemon's abilities to overcome obstacles and solve puzzles in order to progress through the city. It could add a whole new layer of depth and complexity to the gameplay experience. And what about the Pokemon themselves? How will they be affected by the redevelopment? Will some species thrive in the new urban environment while others struggle to adapt? Could new types of Pokemon emerge that are specifically adapted to life in the city? Picture this: a new species of electric-type Pokemon that feeds on the city's power grid. Or perhaps a rock-type Pokemon that blends in seamlessly with the construction materials. It could add a whole new dimension to the Pokemon ecosystem and make the city feel even more alive. The key here is perspective. We're not just seeing Lumiose City as tourists, as visitors passing through. We're seeing it through the eyes of its inhabitants, through the lens of change and upheaval. We're witnessing the city's growing pains, its struggles, and its triumphs. And that, in turn, gives us a deeper appreciation for its history, its culture, and its people. And speaking of perspective, how will the time period of Legends, ZA, influence the urban redevelopment of Lumiose City? Are we seeing the city at the height of its transformation, or are we witnessing the early stages of the process? The answer to that question could have a significant impact on the story and gameplay. Imagine if we're seeing Lumiose City in the midst of a chaotic construction boom. The streets are clogged with traffic, the air is thick with dust, and the buildings are half finished. It could create a sense of urgency and excitement as we try to navigate the city and uncover its secrets. Or perhaps we're seeing Lumiose City after the redevelopment is complete. The city is gleaming and modern, but there are still signs of the past lurking beneath the surface. It could create a sense of mystery and intrigue as we explore the city and piece together its history. Ultimately, the urban redevelopment of Lumiose City is more than just a cosmetic change. It's a fundamental shift in the city's identity and its place in the world. And it's a shift that has the potential to create a truly unforgettable Pokémon experience. So, as we prepare to return to the Kalos region, let's not just focus on the familiar landmarks and the nostalgic memories. Let's embrace the change, let's explore the new possibilities, and let's see what secrets Lumiose City has to reveal. The urban redevelopment of Lumiose City, however, isn't the only major talking point. The return of a certain battle mechanic has also got people excited. But why mechanic? Why now? And how will it fit into the world of Pokémon Legends? We'll be pondering all of that next time when we delve into the redemption arc of Mega Evolution. Chapter 3: Mega Evolution's Redemption, a Second Chance. Mega Evolution. The mechanic that divided a fanbase, sparked countless debates, and, let's be honest, looked pretty darn cool. But why bring it back? After its, let's say, implementation in later games, why dust off Mega Evolution for Pokémon Legends ZA? It's a fair question, and one that deserves a deep dive. Think back to Pokémon X and Y. The Kalos region was all about beauty, elegance, and, of course, transformation. Mega Evolution was the perfect embodiment of that theme. It was flashy, powerful, and gave beloved Pokémon a whole new lease on life. Remember Mega Charizard Y soaring through the skies, or Mega Lucario's intensified aura? It was undeniably exciting. But then came the critiques. Some felt it was overpowered, creating an uneven playing field in competitive battles. Others argued it favored certain Pokémon over others, leaving many fan favorites in the dust. And let's not forget the fact that it was largely absent in later generations, leaving many to wonder if it was just a Kalos-specific gimmick. So, why resurrect it now? Why bring back a mechanic that seemingly had its time and place? I think the answer lies in the Legends title itself. This isn't just another mainline Pokémon game, it's an opportunity to reimagine, to explore, and to tell stories in a way that traditional games simply can't. The developers likely see Mega Evolution as a mechanic with untapped potential. They see a chance to refine it, to balance it, and to integrate it more meaningfully into the core gameplay loop. Imagine a system where Mega Evolution isn't just a temporary power-up for battles, but a key element in exploring the world, solving puzzles, or even interacting with other Pokémon. Think about the implications for the Legends style of gameplay. Instead of just being a battle mechanic, Mega Evolution could become an integral part of the narrative. Perhaps certain Pokémon can only Mega Evolve under specific circumstances, revealing hidden areas or unlocking new storylines. Maybe the process of Mega Evolution itself is tied to the history of the Kalos region, revealing ancient secrets and forgotten lore. Consider this. What if Mega Evolution in Legends ZA isn't as readily available as it was in X and Y? What if it requires a deeper understanding of the Pokémon's bond with its trainer, a mastery of certain skills, or even a pilgrimage to sacred sites? This would not only make Mega Evolution feel more earned, but it would also add a layer of depth and challenge that was missing in previous iterations. Imagine having to complete a series of trials, each designed to test your Pokémon's strength, resilience, and connection to you. Only then, after proving your worth, would you be able to unlock the power of Mega Evolution. This would make the process feel less like a simple button press and more like a true transformation, both for the Pokémon and the trainer. And what about the environmental impact? In a game that seems to be focusing on urban redevelopment and potentially ecological themes, could Mega Evolution be tied to the health of the environment? Perhaps overuse of Mega Evolution could have negative consequences, leading to imbalances in the ecosystem or even causing harm to the Pokémon themselves. This would add a layer of moral complexity to the mechanic, forcing players to consider the potential consequences of their actions. But let's not forget the narrative possibilities. What if the process of Mega Evolution is somehow connected to the legendary Pokémon of the Kalos region, Xerneas, Yveltal, and Zygarde? Perhaps the energy released during Mega Evolution is drawing their attention, leading to unforeseen consequences. Or maybe the key to understanding Mega Evolution lies in unraveling the mysteries of these ancient beings. Imagine a scenario where Zygarde, the Order Pokémon, is attempting to restore balance to the Kalos region, and Mega Evolution is disrupting that balance. This could create a compelling conflict, forcing players to choose between harnessing the power of Mega Evolution and protecting the environment. And what about the potential for new Mega Evolutions? The Kalos region is home to a diverse array of Pokémon, many of which have yet to receive the Mega Evolution treatment. Imagine Mega Flygon finally getting the recognition it deserves, or Mega Milotic becoming even more breathtakingly beautiful. The possibilities are endless. But more than just new forms, what about new of Mega Evolution? Perhaps in this Legends setting, a more primal, untamed version of the mechanic. Instead of the sleek, polished mega evolutions we saw before, we could see more raw, powerful transformations that reflect the wild nature of the past. Think about it. A mega evolution that isn't just about increasing stats, but about fundamentally altering the Pokemon's behavior and abilities. A mega evolution that taps into the Pokemon's primal instincts, making it more aggressive, more territorial, or even more unpredictable. And here's a thought. What if mega evolution isn't the only form of transformation in Legends ZA? What if the developers are using this game to experiment with other forms of evolution or power-ups? Perhaps even drawing inspiration from other Pokémon games or even the anime. Imagine a system where certain Pokémon can undergo temporary transformations based on the environment, the time of day, or even the weather. This would add a layer of dynamism to the gameplay, forcing players to adapt their strategies to the ever-changing conditions around them. Or what about a system where Pokémon can fuse together, creating entirely new and powerful forms? This would not only add a new layer of strategic depth to the battles, but it would also open up a world of possibilities for creative character design. But let's get back to Mega Evolution. One of the biggest criticisms of the mechanic in the past was that it felt too isolated. It was a powerful tool, but it didn't really connect to the broader world or the overall narrative. In Legends ZA, the developers have a chance to change that. Imagine a scenario where the process of mega evolution is tied to the health of the environment. Perhaps the energy released during mega evolution can be harnessed to power the redevelopment of Lumiose City, but at a cost. Overuse of mega evolution could lead to pollution, resource depletion, or even ecological disasters. This would force players to make difficult choices, weighing the benefits of mega evolution against the potential consequences for the environment. It would add a layer of moral complexity to the gameplay, making the player feel like they are truly responsible for the fate of the Kalos region. And what about the social implications? In a game that seems to be focusing on urban redevelopment and social inequality, could mega evolution be used to exacerbate existing tensions? Perhaps only the wealthy elite have access to the resources and technology needed to unlock mega evolution, creating a divide between those who can harness its power and those who cannot. This would add a layer of social commentary to the game, exploring themes of class, privilege, and the ethical implications of technological advancement. It would make the player think about the role of technology in society and the potential for it to be used for both good and evil. But let's not forget the competitive aspect. Mega Evolution was a game-changer in competitive battles, and its return could shake up the meta once again. But how will the developers balance it this time around? Will they introduce new restrictions or limitations to prevent it from becoming too overpowered? Perhaps they will introduce new abilities or items that can counter Mega Evolution, creating a more dynamic and strategic battlefield. Or maybe they will limit the number of Mega Evolutions that can be used in a single battle, forcing players to make tough choices about which Pokémon to prioritize. And what about the potential for new Mega Evolutions to shake up the competitive scene? Imagine Mega Greninja finally getting the boost it needs to become a top-tier threat, or Mega Aegislash becoming an unstoppable defensive wall. The possibilities are endless, and the competitive landscape could be completely transformed. But more than just balancing the mechanic, the developers also need to make it feel more accessible to casual players. In the past, Mega Evolution could feel intimidating and overwhelming, especially for those who are new to the game. Perhaps they will introduce a simplified system for unlocking Mega Evolution, making it easier for players of all skill levels to access its power. Or maybe they will provide more in-game tutorials and resources to help players understand the intricacies of Mega Evolution and how to use it effectively. And what about the potential for cooperative Mega Evolution? Imagine being able to team up with other players to unleash the power of Mega Evolution together, creating a truly unstoppable force. This would add a new layer of social interaction to the game, encouraging players to work together and strategize as a team. But perhaps the most exciting aspect of Mega Evolution's return is the potential for it to be integrated into the story in a meaningful way. Imagine a scenario where the fate of the Kalos region depends on your ability to master the power of Mega Evolution. Perhaps an ancient evil is threatening to destroy the region, and the only way to stop it is to awaken the dormant power of Mega Evolution in certain Pokémon. This would give the player a clear sense of purpose and motivation, making them feel like they are truly making a difference in the world. Or maybe the key to understanding Mega Evolution lies in unraveling the mysteries of the legendary Pokémon of the Kalos region. Perhaps Xerneas, Yveltal, and Zygarde hold the secrets to unlocking the full potential of Mega Evolution, and it's up to you to uncover those secrets. This would add a layer of lore and mystery to the game, encouraging players to explore the world, talk to NPCs, and piece together the fragments of the past. It would make the player feel like they are truly a part of the history of the Kalos region. But let's not forget the visual spectacle. Mega Evolution was always a visually stunning mechanic, and its return in Legends ZA could be even more impressive. Imagine seeing Mega Pokémon battling in real time, with dynamic camera angles and breathtaking special effects. Perhaps the developers will take advantage of the Switch's hardware to create even more detailed and realistic Mega Evolutions with intricate animations and stunning visual designs. Or maybe they will introduce new visual effects that reflect the unique powers and abilities of each Mega Pokémon. And what about the potential for customizable Mega Evolutions? Imagine being able to personalize your Mega Pokémon with different colors, patterns, and accessories, making them truly unique and reflecting your own personal style. This would add a layer of customization and personalization to the game, allowing players to express their creativity and make their Pokémon feel like an extension of themselves. It would make the player feel even more connected to their Pokémon, strengthening the bond between trainer and creature. So, as you can see, the decision to bring back Mega Evolution in Pokémon Legends ZA is not just about nostalgia or fan service. It's about tapping into the untapped potential of a mechanic that was always brimming with possibilities. It's about refining it, balancing it, and integrating it more meaningfully into the core gameplay loop. It's about telling new stories, exploring new themes, and pushing the boundaries of what a Pokémon game can be. It's a second chance, a chance to redeem Mega Evolution and show the world what it's truly capable of. And I, for one, am incredibly excited to see what the developers have in store for us. But the return of Mega Evolution is just one piece of the puzzle. What does the Legends title mean for the game's overall scope and ambition? What kind of innovation are we truly looking at? That's what we'll be dissecting next. Get ready to have your assumptions challenged, because what we uncover next goes beyond just a simple spin-off. Chapter 4: The Legends. Title: more than just a spin-off. Alright, settle in, because now we're getting to the meat of it. Beyond the nostalgia, beyond the shiny new graphics, there's something else lurking beneath the surface of this game, something the title itself hints at. It's not just a cutesy add-on, a way to differentiate this from a mainline entry. No. It's a statement. Think about it. What does the word Legends evoke? Tales passed down through generations, shrouded in mystery, often embellished, always carrying a weight of history. It's not just about revisiting a familiar place, it's about unearthing the legends that place. Consider Pokémon Legends Arceus. It wasn't just a spin-off where you caught Pokémon in a different setting, it completely reimagined the core gameplay loop, pushing the boundaries of what a Pokémon game be. It was a bold experiment, and the Legends title signaled that intention from the get-go. It told us, this isn't your typical Pokémon adventure. Prepare for something different. So, what does it mean for ZA? Is it simply a label, or does it promise a similar level of reinvention? I think it's the latter. I truly believe that the Legends moniker carries a responsibility, a commitment to deliver something truly unique, something that transcends the typical expectations of a Pokémon game. But how? How can they possibly reinvent a region we already know so well? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Well, let's consider the setting, Lumiose City. A sprawling metropolis, a hub of fashion and culture, but also a place with its own hidden depths, its own untold stories. The Legends title suggests we're not just going to be running around battling trainers and collecting badges. We're going to be digging deeper, uncovering the historical context of Lumiose City, exploring its evolution, and perhaps even witnessing the events that shaped it into the city we know and love. Imagine a story that delves into the very foundations of Lumiose, revealing the struggles, the triumphs, and the secrets that lie buried beneath its gleaming surface. Imagine encountering characters from the past, figures who played a pivotal role in the city's development, and learning about their motivations, their dreams, and their sacrifices. This isn't just about catching Pokémon in a new location. This is about experiencing a living, breathing world, a world with a rich history and a compelling narrative that unfolds before your very eyes. The Legends title promises a level of immersion and storytelling that we haven't seen in a Pokémon game before, a chance to truly connect with the region and its inhabitants on a deeper level. And that's where the innovation comes in. The Legends title isn't just about the story, it's about the gameplay. It suggests a willingness to experiment with new mechanics, new systems, and new ways of interacting with the world. Think about it. Arceus introduced open-world exploration, real-time battles, and a crafting system that allowed you to create your own items. What new innovations could ZA bring to the table? Perhaps we'll see a more complex relationship between humans and Pokémon, a system where your actions have real consequences on the environment and the city itself. Maybe we'll see a greater emphasis on investigation and puzzle solving, requiring us to uncover clues, decipher ancient texts, and piece together the mysteries of Lumiose's past. Perhaps we'll even see a branching narrative where our choices determine the fate of the city and its inhabitants. The possibilities are endless, and the Legends title gives us permission to dream big, to imagine a Pokémon game that truly pushes the boundaries of what's possible. It's not just a spin-off, it's a statement of intent, a promise of innovation, and a chance to experience the Pokémon world in a whole new light. It's easy to dismiss this as just marketing hype, a way to generate excitement and pre-orders. But I think there's something more to it than that. I think the developers genuinely believe in the potential of the Legends concept, and they're committed to delivering a game that lives up to its name. They know that fans are hungry for something new, something different, something that challenges their expectations and rewards their curiosity. And the Legends title is their way of saying, we hear you, we understand, and we're going to deliver. Of course, there's always the risk of failure, the possibility that the game won't live up to the hype. But even if it falls short, the ambition is there, the willingness to experiment is there, and that's what truly matters. The Legends title represents a genuine attempt to innovate within the Pokémon franchise, to break free from the established formula and create something truly special. It's a bold move, and it's one that I, for one, am incredibly excited to see play out. It's not just about revisiting Kalos, it's about rediscovering it, about unearthing its secrets, and about experiencing its legends in a way that we never thought possible. It's a chance to fall in love with the Pokémon world all over again and to see it in a whole new light. And that, my friends, is why the Legends title is so significant. It's not just a label, it's a promise. A promise of adventure, a promise of innovation, and a promise of a Pokémon game that will truly live up to its name. So, what does this all mean in the grand scheme of things? Well, it suggests that Nintendo and the Pokémon Company are willing to take risks, to experiment with new ideas, and to push the boundaries of the franchise. It suggests that they're not content to simply churn out the same old formula year after year, but that they're actively seeking ways to innovate and surprise their fans. And that's a good thing, because the Pokémon franchise has been around for over 2 decades and it's in danger of becoming stale. If it wants to remain relevant and engaging, it needs to evolve, to adapt, and to embrace new ideas. The Legends title is a sign that they're aware of this and that they're willing to do what it takes to keep the franchise fresh and exciting. It's a sign that they're not afraid to take risks, to experiment with new gameplay mechanics, and to tell new stories. And that's why I'm so optimistic about the future of Pokémon. Because as long as they're willing to innovate, to experiment, and to take risks, the franchise will continue to thrive for many years to come. The Legends title is more than just a spin-off. It's a symbol of that commitment, a promise of a brighter future for the Pokémon world. It's a challenge to the developers and an invitation to us, the players, to embark on a new and exciting adventure. But what about the commercial implications? How does this Legends title factor into Nintendo's overall strategy? You might be surprised, because this is more than just a fun side project. It's a potential commercial juggernaut in disguise, and that's where we're headed next. Chapter 5: Commercial Implications. A major title in disguise. Alright, settle in, because this is where things get really interesting. We've been basking in the nostalgia, dissecting the urban planning, and geeking out over Mega Evolution. But now, it's time to talk about the green stuff. The moolah. The cold, hard cash that makes the Pokémon world go round. Because let's be honest, behind every pixelated Pokémon and every meticulously crafted storyline, there's a business. And Pokémon Legends, ZA, despite its somewhat unconventional title, is poised to be a player. Now, you might be thinking, wait a minute, this isn't a mainline game. This isn't Pokémon Scarlet and Violet 2 W0. Can it compete? And that's a fair question, but I'm here to tell you with absolute certainty that the answer is a resounding yes. Think about it. What are the key ingredients for a Pokémon game blockbuster? Compelling world? Check. Engaging gameplay? Check. A healthy dose of nostalgia? Double check. And Pokémon Legends, ZA, has all of these in spades. But it's more than just the sum of its parts. This game is strategically positioned to fill a very specific void in the market. A void created by the, well, let's just say reception to the most recent mainline entries. Look, I'm not here to bash Scarlet and Violet, they had their moments. But they also had issues, performance problems, graphical glitches, and a storyline that, while ambitious, didn't quite land for everyone. And that's where Pokémon Legends, ZA, swoops in like a majestic talonflame. It's a chance for the Pokémon Company to course correct, to show us what a modern Pokémon game be. A game that's both innovative and polished. A game that respects the legacy of the franchise while pushing it forward in exciting new ways. But how can a non-mainline title achieve such commercial success? The answer lies in a clever combination of factors. First, there's the hype. Oh, the glorious hype. The initial trailer alone sent shockwaves through the Pokémon community. Social media exploded with theories, speculations, and fan art. And that's just the beginning. The Pokémon Company knows how to build anticipation. They're masters of the slow drip feed of information. A cryptic tweet here, a carefully curated gameplay reveal there. Each morsel of information fuels the fire, keeping the hype train chugging along at full speed. And the more hype there is, the more pre-orders there are. The more pre-orders, the more buzz. It's a self-perpetuating cycle that can propel a game to the top of the sales charts before it even hits store shelves. But hype alone isn't enough. A game needs substance to back it up. And that's where the Legends formula comes into play. Pokémon Legends, Arceus, despite its own set of quirks, proved that there's a massive appetite for a different kind of Pokémon experience. An experience that's more open world, more action-oriented, and more focused on exploration and discovery. It showed that players are willing to embrace change, as long as that change is meaningful and well executed. And Pokémon Legends, ZA, is poised to build upon that foundation, refining the formula and delivering an even more compelling experience. Think about the potential. Imagine exploring a fully realized Lumiose city, brought to life with stunning graphics and intricate details. Imagine battling Pokémon in real time, using strategic maneuvers and environmental awareness to gain the upper hand. Imagine uncovering the secrets of Mega Evolution, learning about its origins and its potential consequences. These are the kinds of experiences that can resonate with players on a deep level. The kinds of experiences that can transform a game from a mere product into a cultural phenomenon. And that's what the Pokémon Company is aiming for. They're not just trying to sell us another Pokémon game, they're trying to create an event. A moment in time that will be remembered for years to come. But the commercial implications extend far beyond just sales figures. Pokémon Legends ZA is also a key piece in Nintendo's overall strategy. A strategy that's all about navigating the tricky transition between the Nintendo Switch and its successor. We'll get to that transition in more detail in the next chapter, but it's important to understand that Pokémon Legends ZA is not just a standalone title, it's a bridge. A bridge that connects the past, present, and future of the Pokémon franchise. It's a way for Nintendo to keep the Pokémon momentum going strong, even as they prepare to unveil their next-generation console. It's a way to reassure fans that the future of Pokémon is bright, even as the Switch era comes to a close. And it's a way to generate a massive amount of revenue, of course. Let's not forget about that. But the real genius of this strategy lies in its subtlety. The Pokémon Company is not explicitly marketing Pokémon Legends ZA as a must-buy title for the next-generation console. They're letting the game speak for itself. They're letting the hype build organically. They're letting the positive word of mouth spread like wildfire. And they're letting players discover for themselves why this game is so special. And that's a much more effective approach than simply shouting from the rooftops, "Buy our new game, it's the best ever." Because ultimately, the success of Pokémon Legends ZA will depend on the quality of the game itself. If it's a buggy, uninspired mess, no amount of marketing can save it. But if it's a polished, engaging, and innovative experience, it has the potential to be a true commercial juggernaut, a game that not only sells millions of copies but also revitalizes the Pokémon franchise and sets the stage for a bright future. So, what are the chances of that happening? Well, based on everything we've seen so far, I'm cautiously optimistic. The developers seem to be genuinely passionate about this project. They seem to be listening to the fans. And they seem to be committed to delivering a game that lives up to the hype. But there's one more factor that we haven't discussed yet. A factor that could potentially make or break the game. And that's the platform strategy. How will Nintendo and the Pokémon Company handle the release of Pokémon Legends ZA on the aging Nintendo Switch? Will they optimize it for the hardware? Will they offer a next-generation version for the new console? Or will they take a completely different approach? The answers to these questions could have a profound impact on the game's commercial success, and that's exactly what we'll be exploring in the next chapter. So, stick around, because things are about to get even more interesting. But before we move on, let's just take a moment to appreciate the sheer audacity of this move. The Pokémon Company is essentially releasing a game that could potentially overshadow their mainline titles. A game that could redefine what it means to be a Pokémon fan, and they're doing it all under the guise of a spin-off. It's like they're saying, "Oh, this is just a little side project. Don't worry about it." But we know better, don't we? We know that Pokémon Legends ZA is much more than just a spin-off. It's a statement, a declaration that the Pokémon franchise is not afraid to take risks, that it's not afraid to experiment with new ideas, and that it's not afraid to challenge our expectations. And that's why I'm so excited about this game, because it represents a bold new direction for the Pokémon franchise. A direction that could lead to even greater things in the future. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We still have a lot to unpack, and the next chapter is crucial. Because understanding the platform strategy is key to understanding the full commercial implications of Pokémon Legends ZA, so get ready to dive deep into the world of console transitions, hardware optimization, and marketing wizardry. It's going to be a wild ride. And who knows, maybe we'll even uncover some hidden secrets along the way. But before we do that, let's just take a deep breath and relax. Let the soothing sounds of the Kalos region wash over you, and let your mind wander to the possibilities that await us in Pokémon Legends ZA. Because the future of Pokémon is closer than you think, and it's shaping up to be something truly special. But how will this flagship game navigate the console transition? We'll explore that next. Chapter 6. Platform Strategy, Navigating the Console Transition. Alright, settle in, because this is where things get really interesting. We've been talking about nostalgia, about potential storylines, about the return of Mega Evolution and the weight of that Legends title. But now, let's pull back the curtain and look at the bigger picture, the grand strategy, if you will, that's playing out behind the scenes. Specifically, we're talking about platforms, consoles, the very devices that bring these digital worlds to life, and more importantly, the timing of it all. You see, Pokémon Legends ZA isn't just a standalone game, it's a key piece in a much larger puzzle, a carefully calculated move in Nintendo's ongoing chess match with the gaming landscape. Think about it, we're at a pivotal moment. The Nintendo Switch, a console that defied expectations and captured the hearts of millions, is entering its twilight years. The rumors are swirling, the whispers are growing louder. A new Nintendo console is on the horizon. But how do you gracefully transition from one generation to the next? How do you keep the momentum going? How do you avoid alienating your existing fan base while simultaneously enticing new players to jump on board? That, my friends, is the multi-billion-dollar question. And Pokémon Legends ZA might just be the answer. Let's rewind for a second. Remember the Wii U? Nintendo's previous attempt at a console transition? It didn't exactly go as planned. Lack of clear messaging, a confusing name, and a dearth of compelling software led to its untimely demise. Nintendo learned a harsh lesson from that experience. They understood that a successful console transition requires more than just new hardware. It requires a compelling narrative, a sense of excitement, and, most importantly, a killer app. And that's where Pokémon Legends ZA steps into the spotlight. It's not just another Pokémon game, it's a strategically deployed anchor, a flagship title designed to bridge the gap between the Switch and its successor. Now, I know what you might be thinking. But wait, isn't this just a spin-off? A side project? Why would Nintendo hinge their entire console transition on a Legends game? That's the beauty of it. It's the deception, the masterful misdirection. By labeling it as a Legends title, they're lowering expectations, creating a sense of freedom, and allowing themselves to experiment without the immense pressure of a mainline numbered release. But don't be fooled. This isn't some throwaway project. This is a meticulously crafted experience designed to showcase the potential of the Pokémon franchise and, more importantly, the capabilities of Nintendo's hardware. Think about the timing. Pokémon Legends ZA is slated for release in 2025. That's right in the sweet spot. The prime window for a new Nintendo console launch. It's the perfect opportunity to offer a dual-platform release. A game that can be enjoyed on both the existing Switch and the new, more powerful hardware. Imagine the possibilities. On the Switch, Pokémon Legends ZA will be a visually stunning, technically impressive showcase of what the aging console is still capable of. It will be a testament to the ingenuity and resourcefulness of the developers, a final hurrah for a beloved system. But on the new console? On the new console, it will be a revelation. Imagine the enhanced graphics, the smoother frame rates, the more detailed environments. Imagine the sheer scale and scope of Lumiose City brought to life with a level of fidelity that was previously unimaginable. It's a win-win scenario. Existing Switch owners get a fantastic new Pokémon game to tide them over, while early adopters of the new console get a breathtaking demonstration of its power. And Nintendo? Well, Nintendo gets to seamlessly transition their user base to the new hardware, all while keeping the Pokémon hype train chugging along at full speed. But the platform strategy goes even deeper than that. Consider the potential for cross-platform play. Imagine being able to battle and trade with friends regardless of which console they're playing on. Imagine the sense of community, the feeling of connection that would be fostered by such a feature. It's a bold move, a risky gamble, but one that could pay off in a huge way. It's a way to future-proof the Pokémon franchise, to ensure that it remains relevant and engaging for years to come. And let's not forget the commercial implications. Pokémon is a global phenomenon, a cultural juggernaut. Any new Pokémon game is guaranteed to generate massive sales, but a game that's strategically positioned to launch alongside a new console. That's a whole different level of potential. We're talking about millions upon millions of units sold, a massive injection of revenue that could propel Nintendo's new console to the top of the charts. It's a calculated risk, yes, but one that's backed by decades of experience and a deep understanding of the gaming market. So, what does all of this mean? It means that Pokémon Legends ZA is more than just a game. It's a statement, it's a declaration. It's Nintendo's way of saying, we're not going anywhere, we're still here, and we're ready to take the gaming world by storm once again. But this is just the beginning. Now that we've explored the platform strategy, the commercial implications, and the overall ambition of Pokémon Legends ZA, let's turn our attention to something even more intriguing, the choice of starter Pokémon. What does it mean that they're pulling from different generations? And what does it tell us about the future of Pokémon as a whole? That's what we'll be diving into next. Before we dive deeper into this incredible journey, I'm curious, where in the world are you watching this from? Drop a comment below and let our global community know. And if you're finding this as mind-blowing as I am, hit that like button to help more people discover this story. Chapter 7, Starter Selection, A Shift in Lineage. Alright, settle in, because we're about to dissect one of the most intriguing aspects of Pokémon Legends ZA. And trust me, this one has implications that could ripple through the entire franchise. We're talking about the starters. Now, usually, starter Pokémon are a pretty straightforward affair, right? Fire, water, grass. A new generation gets a trio of adorable critters and you pick your favorite. Simple. But ZA throws that rulebook right out the window. We're not getting the usual suspects. No new Kalosian starters. Instead, we're getting, well, let's just say the selection is a little bar. And that's putting it mildly. Prepare yourself. We have Bulbasaur, the OG grass type, the very first Pokemon in the entire Pokédex. Iconic, yes. But a fiery little badger with a perpetually sleepy expression. Adorable, undoubtedly. But, again, what's he doing here? And finally, Froakie. A Kalosian starter, yes, which seems fitting at first glance. But hold on a second, why? Why not Chespan or Fennekin? What makes this particular water-type frog so special that it earns a spot in this eclectic lineup? See, it's not just they're from different generations, it's ones they chose. It feels deliberate, like there's a hidden message being encoded in this seemingly random selection. And that, my friends, is what we're going to unravel tonight. So, let's start with the obvious question. What does this unusual starter selection? Is it just a fun little nod to previous games? A way to appeal to longtime fans? Or is there something deeper at play here? Well, let's consider the context. We're in a Legends game. These games aren't just spin-offs, they're reimaginings. They're about exploring the past, challenging established lore, and rewriting the rules. And what's a more fundamental rule in Pokémon than the starter selection? Think about it. Every mainline Pokémon game begins with the same choice. It's the player's first bond, their first adventure, their first step into a brand new world. It's a cornerstone of the entire experience. So, if you're going to shake things up, what better place to start than right there? But why 3? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Let's look a little closer. Bulbasaur, Cyndaquil, and Froakie. What do they have in common? Well, for starters, they represent 3 different regions: Kanto, Johto, and Kalos. That's an obvious observation, but it's worth stating explicitly. Is this a symbolic representation of the entire Pokémon world converging on Lumiose City? A hint that the events of ZA will have far-reaching consequences beyond the Kalos region? Perhaps. But I think there's more to it than that. Consider their evolutions. Bulbasaur evolves into Ivysaur, then Venusaur. Cyndaquil becomes Quilava, then Typhlosion. And Froakie transforms into Frogadier, then Greninja. Now, what do these final evolutions, what themes or concepts do they embody? Venusaur, with its massive flower, represents nature, growth, and perhaps even a certain primal power. Typhlosion, with its blazing flames, embodies passion, energy, and destruction. And Greninja, the ninja Pokémon, represents stealth, strategy, and adaptability. Could these be the core themes that will be explored in Pokémon Legends ZA? A struggle between nature and technology? A clash between tradition and innovation? It's a compelling theory, isn't it? But it still feels incomplete. There's something else lurking beneath the surface. Something more subtle. Let's dig a little deeper into each individual starter. Bulbasaur. Chosen from Professor Oak's lab in Kanto, often overlooked in favour of Charmander and Squirtle, but undeniably iconic. Its connection to the natural world is obvious, but there's also a sense of resilience about Bulbasaur. It's a survivor. It's been there from the very beginning and continues to thrive. Could this be a subtle commentary on the state of Kalos itself? A region that's facing a crisis, a region that needs to find its own resilience in the face of urban redevelopment and technological advancement? Perhaps. But let's move on to Cyndaquil. Cyndaquil, the shy, timid fire type from Johto, often chosen for its adorable design and its powerful final evolution, Typhlosion. But there's something else about Cyndaquil that often gets overlooked: its connection to tradition. Johto is a region steeped in history, a region that values its traditions and its connection to the past. Could Cyndaquil's presence in ZA be a reminder of the importance of preserving tradition in the face of progress? A warning against blindly embracing the future without considering the lessons of the past? It's a possibility. And it becomes even more compelling when we consider the final starter, Froakie. Froakie, the cool, collected water type from Kalos, often praised for its stylish design and its powerful final evolution, Greninja. But Froakie represents something more than just coolness and power. It represents innovation, adaptability, and a willingness to embrace change. Greninja, after all, is the only starter Pokémon to have received a unique form through the bond phenomenon with Ash. It's a Pokémon that's constantly evolving, constantly adapting, constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Could Froakie's presence in ZA be a symbol of Kalos' own desire to innovate and adapt? A reflection of the region's ambition to become a global centre of fashion and technology? Now, consider all three starters together. Bulbasaur, representing resilience and connection to nature. Cyndaquil, representing tradition and respect for the past. And Froakie, representing innovation and a drive towards the future. Could these three starters be a microcosm of the central conflict in Pokémon Legends, ZA? A conflict between preserving the natural world, honouring the traditions of the past, and embracing the possibilities of the future? It's a compelling theory, isn't it? But there's still one more layer to this puzzle, one more piece of the puzzle that we need to consider, and that's the fact that these starters are from different generations. Now, this might seem like a minor detail, but I believe it's actually quite significant, because in the Pokémon world, generations matter. They represent distinct eras, distinct styles, distinct philosophies. And by bringing together starters from different generations, the developers of ZA might be signaling a shift in how they treat the concept of starter lineage. What do I mean by that? Well, traditionally, each new generation of Pokémon games has introduced its own unique set of starters. These starters are meant to be emblematic of that particular region, that particular time period. They're meant to represent the unique flavour of that generation. But by including starters from previous generations in ZA, the developers might be suggesting that they're moving away from this strict generational separation. They might be hinting at a future where Pokémon from different regions and different generations can coexist and interact more freely. Think about it. What if future Pokémon games allowed you to choose starters from generation? What if you could begin your adventure with a team of Pokémon that spans the entire history of the franchise? It would be a radical departure from the established formula, but it would also be incredibly exciting. It would open up a whole new world of possibilities for team building and customization. It would allow players to create truly unique and personal Pokémon experiences, and it would be a fitting tribute to the legacy of the Pokémon franchise. A celebration of all the different generations and all the different Pokémon that have captured our hearts over the years. So, what does all of this mean for Pokémon Legends ZA? Well, I believe it means that we're in for something truly special. something that challenges our expectations, something that pushes the boundaries of what's possible, and something that celebrates the rich history and diverse world of Pokémon. The starter selection in Pokémon Legends ZA isn't just a random assortment of Pokémon. It's a carefully curated collection of symbols and themes. It's a microcosm of the central conflict in the game. And it's a hint at a potential shift in how the Pokémon franchise treats the concept of starter lineage. It's a bold move, but it's a move that I think will pay off in a big way. It's a move that will resonate with longtime fans and newcomers alike. And it's a move that will help to solidify Pokémon Legends ZA as a truly unique and unforgettable experience. But this is just one piece of the puzzle, isn't it? The choice of starters opens up a whole new realm of possibilities, but it's that will truly define the experience. And speaking of gameplay, what secrets are hidden within the real-time and night battle mechanics? That's what we'll be exploring next. Chapter 8. Gameplay Innovations, Real-Time and Night Battles. Alright, so we've established that Pokémon Legends ZA isn't just a simple return to Kalos. It's a chance to see a beloved region reborn, reimagined, and revitalized. But how exactly will this rebirth manifest itself in the actual gameplay? What concrete changes can we expect that will truly set this apart from previous Pokémon adventures? Well, let's talk about time. And I don't just mean the release date, though I'm sure you're all counting down the seconds. I'm talking about how time itself functions the game, specifically the whispers we've been hearing about real-time exploration and the introduction of dedicated night battle zones. Think about it. For decades, Pokémon battles have been, for the most part, turn-based affairs. You select your move, your opponent selects theirs, and the outcome is determined by stats, tight matchups, and a healthy dose of luck. It's a formula that's worked wonders, no doubt about it. But what if that formula was, well, not entirely discarded, but significantly? The prospect of real-time exploration opens up a whole new world of possibilities. Imagine seamlessly transitioning from traversing the urban landscape of Lumiose City to engaging a wild Pokémon, all without a jarring cutscene or loading screen. Envision yourself strategically positioning your Pokémon in the environment, taking advantage of cover, or even luring unsuspecting foes into ambushes. This isn't just about making the game look prettier, though a seamless world certainly wouldn't hurt. This is about fundamentally changing the way we with the Pokémon world. It's about empowering you, the player, to make tactical decisions on the fly, decisions that go beyond simply choosing the right move from a menu. But what about these night battle zones? What makes them so special, and why are they generating so much buzz? Well, consider the implications. Nighttime has always existed in Pokémon games, typically as a visual cue, a time when certain Pokémon appear more frequently, but dedicated that are exclusively active at night. That suggests something far more significant. Perhaps these zones are home to incredibly rare and powerful Pokémon, creatures that only emerge under the cover of darkness. Maybe they offer unique challenges, forcing you to adapt your strategies to the specific conditions of the night. Perhaps they even tie into the game's story, revealing secrets and unlocking new areas as you progress. Think about the possibilities for strategic gameplay. Certain Pokémon abilities and moves could be dramatically enhanced during nighttime battles. Imagine a Pokémon with the ability Illuminate, becoming a crucial asset in navigating a dark and dangerous zone, or a Ghost-type Pokémon gaining a significant power boost under the moonlight. And it's not just about the Pokémon themselves. The environment could play a crucial role as well. Perhaps certain areas become shrouded in mist at night, reducing visibility and forcing you to rely on sound and instinct. Maybe other zones are illuminated by bioluminescent plants, creating stunning visual spectacles while also attracting the attention of nocturnal predators. These potential changes aren't just about adding new features for the sake of novelty. They hint at a deeper commitment to evolving the core gameplay loop of Pokémon. They suggest that the developers are willing to take risks, to experiment with new ideas, and to push the boundaries of what a Pokémon game can be. But why now? Why are we seeing these significant departures from tradition in Pokémon Legends ZA? I think it all boils down to a single word. The Pokémon franchise has always been incredibly successful, and with that success comes a certain degree of expectation. Fans have come to expect certain things from a Pokémon game: a journey through a new region, a cast of memorable characters, and of course the thrill of catching and battling Pokémon. But sometimes, clinging too tightly to tradition can stifle creativity. It can prevent developers from taking risks and exploring new ideas. And that's where the Legends sub-series comes in. These Legends titles aren't just spin-offs. They're opportunities to experiment, to try out new gameplay mechanics, and to tell different kinds of stories. They're a chance to break free from the constraints of the mainline series and explore uncharted territory. The real-time exploration and night battle zones are prime examples of this. They represent a willingness to challenge the established norms of Pokémon gameplay and to create a truly unique and immersive experience. They suggest that the developers are not content to simply rehash old ideas, but are actively seeking to redefine what a Pokémon game can be. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but what about the turn-based battles? Are they gone forever? And the answer, I believe, is almost certainly no. Turn-based battles are a core part of the Pokémon identity, and I highly doubt they'll be completely abandoned. What's more likely is that we'll see a hybrid system, a blend of real-time exploration and traditional turn-based combat. Imagine this: you're exploring a dense forest in real time, carefully navigating through the undergrowth when suddenly a wild Pokémon appears. The game seamlessly transitions into a battle, but instead of simply selecting a move from a menu, you have the opportunity to position your Pokémon strategically, to take advantage of the environment, and to even use items in real time to gain an edge. This kind of hybrid system would allow for a more dynamic and engaging battle experience, one that rewards both strategic thinking and quick reflexes. It would also add a new layer of depth to the gameplay, forcing you to constantly adapt your strategies to the ever-changing circumstances of the battle. The introduction of night battle zones further enhances this potential. Picture yourself venturing into a darkened forest, the only light coming from the moon and the occasional bioluminescent plant. You hear rustling in the bushes, and suddenly a pair of glowing eyes appear. You know you're about to face a powerful nocturnal Pokémon, and you'll need to use all your skills and cunning to emerge victorious. These night battles could feature unique challenges and mechanics that are not present in daytime battles. Perhaps certain Pokémon are more vulnerable to specific types of attacks at night, or maybe the environment itself poses a threat, with hidden traps and treacherous terrain. The possibilities are truly endless, and that's what makes this so exciting. Pokémon Legends ZA has the potential to be a game that not only respects the traditions of the franchise, but also pushes it forward in bold and innovative ways. And it's not just about combat. Think about how real-time exploration could impact other aspects of the game, such as puzzle solving and resource gathering. Imagine having to carefully time your movements to avoid detection by patrolling Pokémon, or using your Pokémon's abilities to manipulate the environment to solve intricate puzzles. The potential for a more immersive and engaging world is truly immense. It would allow you to feel more connected to the Kalos region than ever before, to truly experience its beauty, its danger, and its secrets. But there's another, perhaps even more significant, implication of these gameplay innovations. They suggest a fundamental shift in how the Pokémon company views its audience. For years, the Pokémon franchise has been primarily marketed towards children, and while there's nothing wrong with that, it has sometimes led to a perception that the games are overly simplistic or lacking in depth. But with Pokémon Legends ZA, it feels like the developers are actively trying to appeal to a wider audience, including older fans who have been playing the game since they were kids. The real-time exploration, the night battle zones, and the potential for a more complex and nuanced story all suggest a desire to create a game that is both accessible to newcomers and engaging for veteran players. This is a smart move because the Pokémon fanbase is incredibly diverse, spanning multiple generations and encompassing a wide range of interests. By creating a game that appeals to this diverse audience, the Pokémon Company can ensure the continued success of the franchise for years to come. Now, I know that some of you might be skeptical. You might be worried that these gameplay innovations will somehow detract from the core Pokémon experience, that they will make the game too different from what you've come to expect. But I'd urge you to keep an open mind. Remember, the Pokémon franchise has always been about evolution, about change, about pushing the boundaries of what's possible. And Pokémon Legends ZA represents the next step in that evolution. It's a chance to experience the Pokémon world in a whole new way, to explore its secrets, to battle its creatures, and to forge your own legend. It's a chance to rediscover the magic of Pokémon and to fall in love with the franchise all over again. And while the promise of real-time exploration and night battles is certainly exciting, it's just one piece of the puzzle. To truly understand the significance of Pokémon Legends ZA, we need to delve deeper into the Legends title itself. What does it really mean, and what does it tell us about the game's scope and ambition? That's what we'll explore next. Chapter 9, Community Theories Unraveling the Mysteries. Alright, settle in because things are about to get interesting. Remember how we talked about Lumiose City's grand redevelopment plan? And Mega Evolution's unexpected return? Well, the internet has been buzzing, and I mean with theories trying to connect all the dots. And some of these theories? They're so wild, they just might be true. We're not just talking casual speculation here. We're talking deep dives, meticulous analysis, and connections so obscure you'd need a magnifying glass and a conspiracy board to even see them. So, buckle up, because we're about to enter the wonderful, and sometimes wacky, world of Pokémon fan theories. One of the most prevalent theories revolves around AZ, the ancient king of Kalos. Remember him? The one who built the ultimate weapon to end the war, powered by the life force of his beloved Floette? Well, many believe his story isn't quite finished. Think about it. We know AZ was granted immortality. We saw him reunited with his Floette at the end of Pokémon X and Y. But what happened that? Did he simply fade into the background? Or does he still play a role in the region's destiny? Some theorists believe AZ is somehow involved in the Lumiose City redevelopment project. Perhaps he sees the potential for another war, another catastrophe, and is trying to create a city that can withstand such threats. Maybe he's even using his ancient knowledge to influence the project, subtly guiding its design to prevent past mistakes from repeating themselves. And then there's the Floette connection. AZ's Floette wasn't just any Pokémon. It possessed a unique form, Eternal Floette, with powers beyond anything we've seen. Could this unique Floette and its connection to AZ be the key to understanding the return of Mega Evolution? Perhaps AZ, burdened by his past, is trying to find a way to control or even reverse the effects of the ultimate weapon. Maybe Mega Evolution is somehow linked to the energy that powered it, and AZ is trying to harness that energy for good. It's a long shot, I know, but stranger things have happened in the world of Pokémon. Another popular theory centers around the enigmatic Zygarde. This legendary Pokémon, said to maintain the balance of the Kalos ecosystem, played a significant role in the post-game events of X and Y. But its true purpose, its ultimate power, remains shrouded in mystery. Some believe that Zygarde's role in Legends ZA will be far more prominent. They point to the game's title itself as evidence. The ZA in ZA, they argue, isn't just a random letter. It's a direct reference to Zygarde, suggesting that this legendary Pokémon will be central to the game's plot. And what about Zygarde's various forms? We've seen Zygarde Cell, Zygarde Core, Zygarde 10% Forme, Zygarde 50% Forme, and Zygarde Complete Forme. Could the Lumiose City redevelopment project be somehow disrupting the natural order, forcing Zygarde to take action? Perhaps the rapid urbanization is threatening the Pokémon habitat, pushing Zygarde to intervene and restore balance. Maybe the game will involve collecting Zygarde cells and cores scattered throughout the city, gradually piecing together the legendary Pokémon and unlocking its full potential. It's a compelling theory, especially when you consider the potential environmental themes that the game could explore. The conflict between urban development and nature could be a central theme, with Zygarde acting as a symbol of the natural world fighting back against human encroachment. But here's where things get really interesting. Some theorists believe that Zygarde's connection to Kalos runs even deeper than we thought. They suggest that Zygarde isn't just a guardian of the ecosystem, it's actually the embodiment of the region itself. Think about it. Zygarde's complete form resembles a serpent, a creature often associated with the earth and its power. Could Zygarde be the life force of Kalos, its very essence made manifest? If so, the Lumiose City redevelopment project could be seen as a direct attack on Zygarde itself, a violation of the region's natural harmony. And that leads to another intriguing theory, the potential for a new form of Zygarde. If the urban environment is disrupting Zygarde's natural balance, could it adapt and evolve into a new form, one that is specifically suited to the city landscape? Imagine a Zygarde form that incorporates elements of urban architecture, perhaps with metallic scales or glowing lights. It could be a powerful symbol of the conflict between nature and technology, a testament to the Pokémon's ability to adapt and survive in even the most challenging environments. Of course, no discussion of Pokémon theories would be complete without mentioning the potential for time travel. This concept has been explored in previous Pokémon games, and many believe it could play a significant role in Legends ZA. The Legends title itself hints at a journey through time, a chance to witness the events that shaped the Kalos region into what it is today. Perhaps we'll travel back to the time of AZ and the ultimate weapon, witnessing the devastation firsthand and learning the true cost of war. Or maybe we'll journey even further back, to a time before Lumiose City existed, when the region was still a pristine wilderness. We could witness the first settlements, the first attempts to tame the land, and the gradual transformation of Kalos into the region we know and love. And what about the potential for paradoxes? If we travel back in time and alter events, could we create alternate timelines, realities where Lumiose City never existed, or where Mega Evolution never emerged? The possibilities are endless, and the implications for the Pokémon universe could be profound. One particularly intriguing theory suggests that the Lumiose City redevelopment project is actually a cover for something far more sinister. Perhaps the project isn't about improving the city, it's about uncovering something hidden beneath its streets. Could there be ancient ruins buried beneath Lumiose City, remnants of a forgotten civilization? Maybe the city's founders built their metropolis on top of something they didn't understand, something powerful and dangerous that could threaten the entire region. And who would be behind such a conspiracy? Could it be Team Flare, the villainous organization from X and Y? They were defeated, yes, but their ideology, their desire to create a beautiful world, could still be lurking in the shadows. Perhaps Lysandra, the leader of Team Flare, had a secret plan, a contingency in case his initial scheme failed. Maybe the Lumiose City redevelopment project is the key to unlocking that plan, allowing Team Flare to rise again and reshape the world in their image. It's a dark theory, I know, but it's not entirely implausible. Team Flare's ambition knew no bounds, and their resources were vast. It's entirely possible that they left behind a network of operatives waiting for the right moment to strike. And what about the potential for new Pokémon? Every new Pokémon game introduces a fresh batch of creatures, and Legends ZA is unlikely to be an exception. But what kind of Pokémon can we expect to see in this game? Some theorists believe that we'll see new regional forms of existing Pokémon that have adapted to the urban environment of Lumiose City. Imagine a Rattata that has developed a metallic coat to blend in with the city's infrastructure, or a Pidgey that has learned to navigate the complex network of skyscrapers. Or perhaps we'll see entirely new Pokémon, creatures that are specifically adapted to the urban environment. Imagine a Pokémon that feeds on electricity, thriving in the city's power grid, or a Pokémon that can camouflage itself against the concrete walls and steel structures. And what about the potential for new Mega Evolutions? We know that Mega Evolution is returning in Legends ZA, but which Pokémon will be able to Mega Evolve? Will new Mega Evolutions for Kalos Pokémon? Or will Pokémon from other regions also gain the ability to mega evolve? The possibilities are endless, and the speculation is rampant. Some fans are hoping for a mega evolution for Greninja, the popular Water Dark type starter from X and Y. Others are hoping for a mega evolution for Zygarde, unlocking its ultimate potential and revealing its true power. And then there's the question of gameplay mechanics. How will Legends ZA differ from previous Pokémon games? We've already seen glimpses of real-time battles and night battles, but what other surprises does the game have in store? Some theorists believe that Legends ZA will introduce a new crafting system, allowing players to create their own items and equipment using resources gathered from the environment. This could add a new layer of depth to the gameplay, encouraging exploration and experimentation. Others believe that the game will feature a more robust social system, allowing players to interact with each other in new and meaningful ways. Imagine being able to team up with other players to tackle challenging quests or to compete in tournaments and battles. And what about the potential for branching storylines? Could the choices we make in the game affect the outcome of the story, leading to multiple endings? This would add a new level of replayability to the game, encouraging players to explore all the different possibilities. But perhaps the most intriguing theory of all revolves around the very nature of the Pokémon universe itself. Some theorists believe that the Pokémon games are not just standalone stories, they're all interconnected, pieces of a larger puzzle that reveals the true history and mythology of the Pokémon world. They point to recurring themes, characters, and locations that appear throughout the series, suggesting that there is a deeper connection between the games than we realize. Could Legends ZA be the key to unlocking this connection, revealing the secrets that have been hidden for so long? Perhaps the game will shed light on the origins of Pokémon, explaining how they came to exist and what their true purpose is. Maybe it will reveal the existence of a hidden world, a realm beyond our own, where Pokémon and humans coexist in harmony. Or perhaps it will explore the nature of time and space, revealing the secrets of the multiverse and the infinite possibilities that lie beyond our own reality. It's a grand theory, I know, but it's not entirely impossible. The Pokémon universe is vast and mysterious, and anything could be lurking beneath the surface. Now, I know that's a lot to take in, so many theories, so many possibilities. But that's what makes the anticipation for Pokémon Legends ZA so exciting. The game could go in so many different directions, and the potential for surprises is immense. But before we get too carried away with speculation, let's take a step back and look at what we actually know about the game. What are the confirmed facts, the concrete details that we can use to build our theories on? And are there any hidden hints, subtle clues that could point us in the right direction? That's exactly what we'll be exploring next, as we sift through the known and unknown to uncover the secrets of Pokémon Legends ZA. Chapter 10, The Story So Far. Known Facts and Hidden Hints. Alright, deep breaths everyone. We've journeyed through speculation, delved into history, and even pondered the potential economic impact of Pokémon Legends ZA. But now, it's time to anchor ourselves, to solidify our understanding before we plunge any further. Tonight, we're assembling the puzzle, piece by piece, revealing everything about this intriguing new chapter in the Pokémon saga. So, what do we for sure? Let's start with the obvious. Pokémon Legends ZA is set in Lumiose City. We saw the announcement trailer, the familiar cityscape rising from the blueprints. It's a return to Kalos, but not as we remember it. This isn't a simple revisit, it's a double C. The key phrase that echoes through every conversation, every theory, is urban redevelopment. Lumiose City is undergoing a transformation, a planned metamorphosis. But what does that in the context of a Pokémon game? Is it merely aesthetic, a graphical upgrade? Or does it hint at something deeper, something more fundamental to the game's narrative? Think about it. Urban redevelopment often comes with a price. Displacement, environmental concerns, social inequalities, these are real-world issues. Could Pokémon Legends ZA be tackling these themes, albeit in its own unique, Pokémon-infused way? It's a question worth pondering, isn't it? And then there's Mega Evolution, the return of a mechanic that divided the fanbase. Some loved it, some hated it, but it's undeniably back. But why? What purpose does it serve in this new context? Was its inclusion merely fan service, a nostalgic nod to the past? Or is there a more strategic reason, a narrative justification for its resurgence? Consider this. Mega Evolution, in its original incarnation, was tied to specific stones, specific bonds between trainer and Pokémon. Could the urban redevelopment of Lumiose City somehow be to the rediscovery, or perhaps even of Mega Evolution? Is it possible that the city's transformation is somehow intertwined with the power these Pokémon wield? The title itself, Legends, speaks volumes. This isn't just another spin-off. This isn't a simple side story. The Legends moniker implies a grander scope, a more ambitious narrative. Think back to Pokémon Legends, Arceus. It wasn't just about catching Pokémon. It was about unraveling the very fabric of the Pokémon world, about understanding its origins. Could ZA be aiming for something similar? What if the ZA isn't just a random assortment of letters? What if it represents something more? The beginning and the end? The Alpha and the Omega? Could it be hinting at a story that explores the cyclical nature of time, the rise and fall of civilizations? It's a tantalizing thought, isn't it? And let's not forget the starters. Froakie, the Kalos native, alongside Cyndaquil and Oshawott from Johto and Unova respectively. A seemingly random selection, perhaps. But what if it's a subtle clue? What if it suggests a convergence of different regions, a tapestry woven together by a common thread? Could these starters, representing different eras and different philosophies, be instrumental in shaping the future of Lumiose City? Could their unique abilities and perspectives be essential to navigating the challenges of urban redevelopment? It's a long shot perhaps, but in the world of Pokémon, anything is possible. Then there's the shift towards real-time battles and the emphasis on nighttime exploration. These aren't just minor tweaks, they represent a fundamental shift in gameplay philosophy, a move away from the turn-based tradition towards a more dynamic, more immersive experience. What does this signify? Does it suggest a greater emphasis on exploration, on uncovering the secrets hidden within Lumiose City's darkened alleyways? Does it imply a more dangerous world, where Pokémon roam freely, where battles can erupt at any moment? Think about the implications. Nighttime in a city is often associated with mystery, with intrigue, with the unknown. Could the night battles in ZA be more than just battles? Could they be opportunities to gather information, to uncover clues, to piece together the puzzle of Lumiose City's transformation? Now, let's delve into the realm of speculation, of fan theories that swirl like dust devils across the internet. The theories surrounding AZ, the ancient king of Kalos, are particularly compelling. His immortality, his connection to the ultimate weapon, his lingering presence in the region, could he be involved in the events of ZA? Some believe that AZ's ultimate weapon, powered by the life force of Pokémon, is somehow connected to the urban redevelopment of Lumiose City. Perhaps the city's transformation requires a similar source of energy, a similar sacrifice. It's a dark theory to be sure, but one that resonates with the themes of sacrifice and consequence that often permeate Pokémon lore. Others suggest that AZ is seeking redemption, a way to atone for his past actions. Perhaps he sees the urban redevelopment of Lumiose City as an opportunity to create a better future, a future where humans and Pokémon can coexist in harmony. But can a man burdened by such a heavy past truly change the course of history? And then there's the theory surrounding Zygarde, the legendary Pokémon of balance. Its role in Pokémon X and Y was relatively minor, its potential largely untapped. Could ZA be its chance to shine, to finally fulfill its destiny as the guardian of Kalos? Some believe that the urban redevelopment of Lumiose City is disrupting the natural balance of the region, awakening Zygarde from its slumber. Perhaps Zygarde sees the city's transformation as a threat to the environment, a violation of the natural order. But how will it respond? Will it seek to destroy the city, or will it find a way to restore balance through other means? Consider the architecture of Lumiose City, its intricate network of streets and alleyways, its towering prism tower that dominates the skyline. It's a city of contradictions, a blend of old and new, of beauty and decay. Could the city itself be a clue, a reflection of the internal conflicts that plague the characters within the game? The prism tower in particular is a focal point of speculation. Its purpose in X and Y was relatively straightforward, a place to battle the gym leader Clement. But could it have a deeper significance, a hidden function that will be revealed in ZA? Some believe that the prism tower is a source of energy, a conduit for the power that fuels Lumiose City. Perhaps the urban redevelopment is centered around the tower, with the city's transformation drawing energy from its core. But what are the consequences of tapping into such a powerful source? Others suggest that the prism tower is a gateway, a portal to another dimension. Perhaps it's connected to the ultra wormholes, the interdimensional pathways that appeared in Pokémon Sun and Moon. Could ZA be exploring the mysteries of these wormholes, delving into the realms beyond our own? And let's not forget the fashion of Kalos, its emphasis on elegance and sophistication. It's a region that values beauty, that celebrates creativity. Could the fashion industry play a role in the events of ZA? Perhaps the urban redevelopment of Lumiose City is being driven by fashion trends, with designers pushing the boundaries of innovation, creating new materials and new styles. But what are the ethical implications of this pursuit of beauty? Are the fashion designers exploiting Pokémon for their resources, for their unique abilities? Consider the potential for new Pokémon forms, new regional variants that are adapted to the urban environment. Could Pokémon that have evolved to thrive in the city? Pokémon that have developed unique abilities to navigate the concrete jungle? Imagine a variant of Grima that feeds on pollution, a Pokémon that helps to clean up the city's environment. Or a variant of Pidgey that has adapted to navigate the crowded skies above Lumiose City, a Pokémon that can deliver messages and packages with unparalleled speed and precision. And what about the potential for new characters, new trainers who are shaped by the urban environment? Could trainers who specialize in battling in the city? Trainers who have mastered the art of navigating the alleyways and rooftops of Lumiose City? Imagine a trainer who specializes in using electric-type Pokémon, harnessing the city's power grid to their advantage. Or a trainer who specializes in using dark-type Pokémon, utilizing the shadows and secrets of the city to outwit their opponents. These are just a few of the possibilities, a few of the threads that we can weave together to create a tapestry of speculation. The truth is, we don't know for sure what Pokémon Legends ZA has in store for us. But that's part of the excitement, isn't it? The anticipation of the unknown, the thrill of discovery. We know that Lumiose City is changing, we know that Mega Evolution is back. We know that the Legends title implies a grander scope. And we know that the developers are experimenting with new gameplay mechanics. But how do all these pieces fit together? What is the overarching narrative that will drive the events of ZA? Think back to Pokémon Legends, Arceus. It wasn't just about catching Pokémon. It was about understanding the relationship between humans and Pokémon, about unraveling the mysteries of the past. Could ZA be exploring a similar theme, but in a more modern, more urban context? Could it be about the relationship between humans and technology, about the impact of urban development on the environment? Could it be about the challenges of balancing progress with preservation, of creating a sustainable future for both humans and Pokémon? The answers, of course, remain elusive, but by piecing together the known facts, by exploring the various theories, we can begin to form a clearer picture of what Pokémon Legends ZA might be. And as we continue our journey, as we delve deeper into the mysteries of Kalos, we may just uncover some hidden truths that will change our understanding of the Pokémon world forever. But this discovery was only the beginning, because next we uncover the very heart of Kalosian culture and how its real-world influences might shape the very fabric of Pokémon Legends ZA. Chapter 11. Kalosian Culture. Exploring the region's identity. Alright, so we've established our return to Kalos, the potential for urban renewal, and the comeback of Mega Evolution. We've even dared to peek into the commercial strategy and the console transition. But what about the of Kalos? What makes this region, with its Eiffel Tower-esque Prism Tower and haute couture, so distinctly Kalosian? That, my friends, is precisely what we're unraveling tonight. Because beyond the Pokémon and the battles, there lies a rich tapestry of culture, woven with threads of history, art, and and understanding that tapestry is key to truly appreciating what Pokémon Legends ZA might have in store for us. Now, on the surface, Kalos is an obvious homage to France. The architecture, the fashion, the language, it's all there. But it's not a simple copy-paste. Game Freak has always been adept at taking real-world inspiration and twisting it, adding its own unique Pokémon spin to create something new and captivating. Think about Lumiose City, the heart of Kalos. It's clearly inspired by Paris, but it's also something entirely its own. It's a bustling metropolis, yes, but one where Pokémon battles can break out at any moment, where fashion is a competitive sport, and where a mysterious power plant looms large on the outskirts. But the French influence goes deeper than just surface aesthetics. It seeps into the very fabric of Kalosian society. Consider the emphasis on beauty and elegance. From the meticulously designed Pokémon centers to the elaborate performances at the Koriway Town train station, there's a clear appreciation for artistry and presentation. It's a culture that values not just functionality, but also aesthetics. And that brings us to the concept of la mode, or fashion. In Kalos, fashion isn't just about what you wear, it's a form of self-expression, a way to communicate your personality and status. The boutiques in Lumiose City are filled with trainers eager to find the perfect ensemble to showcase their individual style. Even Teen Flair, with their strikingly coordinated outfits, understand the power of fashion as a means of projecting an image. But where does this emphasis on beauty come from? Well, look back to French history. For centuries, France has been a centre of art, fashion and culture, attracting artists and intellectuals from around the world. The Palace of Versailles, with its opulent architecture and lavish gardens, is a testament to the French appreciation for beauty and grandeur. And that historical influence isn't just about pretty buildings and fancy clothes. It's also about the ideals and values that shaped French society. The French Revolution, with its emphasis on liberty, equality, and fraternity, had a profound impact on the world. And while Kalos might not have experienced its own revolution, the spirit of those ideals seems to be subtly woven into the region's culture. Think about the relationship between humans and Pokémon in Kalos. While Pokémon battles are a central part of the region's culture, there's also a deep respect for the creatures themselves. Pokémon are not simply tools to be used in battle, they're partners, companions, and even family members. This reflects a broader sense of empathy and respect for all living beings, a value that resonates with the ideals of equality and fraternity. Now, how might all of this play into Pokémon Legends ZA? Well, if the game focuses on the urban redevelopment of Lumiose City, we might see these cultural values put to the test. What does it mean to build a modern city while still preserving the region's unique cultural identity? How do you balance progress with tradition? Perhaps the game will explore the tension between the old and the new, the traditional and the modern. Maybe we'll see factions within Lumiose City who have different visions for the future, each with their own ideas about what it means to be Kalosian. And don't forget about the potential environmental themes. The Kalos region is home to a diverse range of ecosystems, from the lush forests of Route 20 to the sparkling waters of Shala City. How will the urban redevelopment of Lumiose City impact these natural habitats? Will the game explore the importance of environmental conservation and sustainable development? It's possible that we'll see the return of characters like Professor Sycamore, who, as a researcher, embodies the Kalosian spirit of inquiry and innovation. Or perhaps we'll encounter new characters who represent different aspects of Kalosian culture, from fashion designers and artists to historians and environmental activists. And what about the legendary Pokémon? Xerneas, Yveltal, and Zygarde are all deeply connected to the natural world. Could their stories be intertwined with the themes of urban development and environmental conservation? Perhaps they'll serve as guardians of the region's natural heritage, challenging humanity to find a way to coexist with nature in harmony. But let's dig a little deeper, shall we? Because France, and by extension Kalos, isn't just about high culture and grand ideals. It's also about the everyday, the mundane, the little things that make life worth living. Think about the food. French cuisine is world-renowned for its quality and sophistication. And while we might not see trainers whipping up elaborate soufflés in Pokémon Legends ZA, it's likely that we'll see glimpses of the Kalosian appreciation for good food. Perhaps we'll be able to buy delicious pastries from local bakeries or sample regional specialties at festivals. And what about the music? From classical composers like Debussy and Ravel to modern artists like Daft Punk and Justice, France has always been a hub of musical innovation. Could Pokémon Legends ZA incorporating French-inspired music into its soundtrack? Imagine exploring Lumiose City to the sounds of accordion music or battling trainers to the beat of electronic dance music. And then there's the language. The French language is known for its elegance and expressiveness, and while Pokémon games are typically localized into multiple languages, it's possible that we'll hear snippets of French dialogue in Pokémon Legends ZA. Perhaps we'll encounter characters who speak with a distinct French accent or use French phrases in their conversations. But the real key here is the spirit of innovation. France has always been a country that embraces new ideas and technologies. From the invention of the printing press to the development of nuclear power, the French have consistently been at the forefront of scientific and technological progress, and that spirit of innovation is reflected in the Kalos region. The Prism Tower, with its futuristic design and advanced technology, is a symbol of the region's commitment to progress. And the Holocaster, a device that allows trainers to communicate with each other remotely, is a testament to the Kalosian ingenuity. So, how might this spirit of innovation play into Pokémon Legends ZA? Well, if the game focuses on the urban redevelopment of Lumiose City, we might see new technologies and building techniques being used to create a more sustainable and efficient city. Perhaps we'll see the development of new forms of renewable energy or the implementation of smart city technologies. And what about the potential for new Pokémon inventions? Could the creation of new Pokéballs or new training devices? Perhaps we'll even see the development of new forms of transportation, like electric cars or high-speed trains. But it's not just about technology. Innovation can also take the form of new ideas and new ways of thinking. Perhaps we'll see the emergence of new social movements or new political ideologies in Pokémon Legends ZA. Maybe we'll see characters challenging the status quo and advocating for a more just and equitable society. And that brings us back to the core themes of the French Revolution: liberty, equality, and fraternity. These ideals are not just abstract concepts, they're values that can be applied to every aspect of life, from the way we treat each other to the way we interact with the environment. So, as we explore the Kalos region in Pokémon Legends ZA, let's keep these values in mind. Let's strive to create a society that is more just, more equitable, and more sustainable. Let's celebrate the beauty and diversity of the region's culture. And let's embrace the spirit of innovation and progress. But even with all of this, there's a darker side to consider. Every culture has its shadows, its hidden secrets, its unspoken truths. And Kalos is no exception. Think about Team Flare, the villainous organization from Pokémon X and Y. On the surface, they seem like a group of misguided idealists who want to create a more beautiful world. But beneath the surface lies a deep-seated elitism and a willingness to sacrifice others for their own selfish goals. Team Flare represents the dark side of Kalosian culture, the tendency towards exclusivity and the belief that some people are more deserving than others. They're a reminder that even the most beautiful and sophisticated societies can be corrupted by greed and power. And what about the legend of the ultimate weapon? This ancient device, created by AZ to end a devastating war, has the power to wipe out all life on Earth. It's a symbol of the destructive potential of human ambition and the dangers of unchecked power. The ultimate weapon represents the dark side of human nature, the capacity for violence and the willingness to destroy everything in pursuit of our own goals. It's a reminder that even the most advanced civilizations can be brought to ruin by their own hubris. So, as we explore the Kalos region in Pokémon Legends ZA, let's not forget about these darker aspects of the region's culture. Let's confront the shadows and learn from the mistakes of the past. Let's strive to create a society that is more inclusive, more compassionate, and more responsible. Because true progress isn't just about building bigger and better cities. It's about creating a world where everyone has the opportunity to thrive, where everyone is treated with respect, and where everyone has a voice. And that, my friends, is the challenge that lies before us. The challenge of building a better future, not just for ourselves, but for all of humanity and for all of the Pokémon who share our world. It's a lofty goal, I know, but it's one worth striving for, wouldn't you agree? But how do we reconcile these grand ideals with the gritty reality of urban redevelopment? How do we ensure that progress doesn't come at the expense of tradition, that innovation doesn't lead to destruction, and that the pursuit of beauty doesn't blind us to the suffering of others? These are the questions that Pokémon Legends ZA might ask us to consider. And the answers, I suspect, will be far more complex and nuanced than we might expect. We've talked about the cultural influences, the historical context, and even the potential dark underbelly of Kalos. But what about the Pokémon themselves? How do they fit into this cultural tapestry? Are they simply creatures that inhabit the region, or do they play a more active role in shaping its identity? That, my friend, is where things get interesting. Because next we delve into the lore of specific Pokémon and their potential connections to the game's plot. I hope you're as amazed by this as I am. If you want to stay updated on more content like this, make sure to subscribe and join our community of curious minds. Trust me, what's coming next will challenge everything you thought you knew. Chapter 12. Pokémon Lore. Deep dives into the mythos. Alright, settle in, friend. Let's dim those lights just a little more. Tonight, we're going to delve into something truly fascinating, the hidden depths of Pokémon lore. We're not just talking about surface-level facts or easily Googled trivia. Oh no, we're going much, much deeper. Think of it like this: the Pokémon world, especially a region as steeped in history as Kalos, is like a vast ocean. Most people only see the waves crashing on the shore, the cute Pokémon playing in the shallows. But beneath the surface, there's a whole ecosystem of secrets, myths and legends waiting to be discovered. And tonight, we're putting on our diving gear and exploring those depths. Now, with Pokémon Legends ZA focusing so intensely on Lumiose City's urban redevelopment, it's easy to assume that the story will be entirely contained within the city limits. That the game is only about the city. I propose that, as fascinating as urban planning and environmental themes are, there's something far grander at play here. We need to think bigger. Think legendary. And when we think legendary in Kalos, one Pokémon immediately springs to mind: Xerneas. Yes, Xerneas, the life Pokémon. The embodiment of vitality and rejuvenation. You remember it, right? The majestic stag-like creature with those incredible multicolored antlers. Well, forget everything you know about Xerneas, because its story, its true role in the Kalos region, is far more complex and intertwined with the fate of Lumiose City than you might imagine. Let's start with the basics. Xerneas is said to share eternal life. When its life force ends, it transforms into a tree that sleeps for 1,000 years. Then, when the time is right, it awakens, bringing life and prosperity back to the land. Sounds beautiful, doesn't it? Almost like a fairy tale. But here's where things get interesting. What if Xerneas' slumbering tree form isn't just a passive state? What if it's actively influencing the environment around it, even in its sleep? What if the very soil of Kalos, the very foundation upon which Lumiose City is built, is infused with Xerneas' life force? Think about it. Lumiose City is a sprawling metropolis. It's a testament to human ingenuity and progress. But it's also a place of stark contrasts. Gleaming skyscrapers stand alongside crumbling alleyways. Wealth and poverty exist side by side. There's a sense of underlying tension, a feeling that something is off. Could it be that this imbalance, this disharmony, is somehow connected to Xerneas? Is the city's relentless expansion, its disregard for the natural world, disrupting the flow of life force emanating from the sleeping legendary? And what about the urban redevelopment project at the heart of Pokémon Legends, ZA? Could this be an attempt to restore balance? To heal the land and reawaken Xerneas to its full potential? Now, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds a bit far-fetched, right? Just a bunch of wild speculation. But bear with me, because we're just getting started. Let's shift our focus now to another legendary Pokémon from the Kalos region, one that's often seen as Xerneas' polar opposite, Yveltal. Yveltal, the destruction Pokémon. Where Xerneas embodies life, Yveltal represents oblivion. It's a creature of immense power, capable of draining the life force from everything around it, and when its own life comes to an end, it transforms into a cocoon, absorbing all the energy it has consumed. Pretty grim, right? But here's the thing, destruction isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes you need to tear down the old to make way for the new, a controlled burn, if you will. Could Yveltal's destructive power play a role in the urban redevelopment of Lumiose City? Could it be that the city needs to be reset, in a way, to clear out the decay and corruption that have taken root? Perhaps the key to understanding Yveltal lies in its cocoon form. We know that it absorbs energy during this period, but what kind of energy? Is it simply draining life force indiscriminately, or is it somehow selective? Is it targeting the negative energy, the pollution, the disharmony that plagues Lumiose City? Imagine this. Yveltal's cocoon is hidden somewhere within Lumiose City, perhaps deep beneath the streets or concealed within one of the city's many landmarks. It's slowly but surely absorbing the city's negativity, preparing to unleash a wave of destruction that will ultimately pave the way for renewal. Sounds dramatic, doesn't it? But remember, we're talking about legendary Pokémon here, creatures of immense power and influence. Their actions can have far-reaching consequences. Now, before you start picturing Yveltal razing Lumiose City to the ground, let's consider one more possibility. What if the true key to understanding the legendary Pokémon of Kalos lies not in their individual powers, but in their relationship to each other? Think of Xerneas and Yveltal as two sides of the same coin, yin and yang, life and death, creation and destruction. They're not necessarily opposed to each other. They're simply different aspects of the same fundamental force. And what if this force is somehow tied to the legendary Pokémon Zygarde? Ah, Zygarde. The order Pokémon, the guardian of the ecosystem. Often overlooked, but perhaps the most crucial piece of the puzzle. Zygarde is unique among the legendary Pokémon. It doesn't have a fixed form. Instead, it exists as a collection of cells scattered throughout the Kalos region. These cells can combine to form different forms depending on the state of the environment. When the ecosystem is in balance, Zygarde remains in its inactive cell form. But when the balance is disrupted, when either Xerneas or Yveltal's power becomes too dominant, Zygarde awakens to restore order. This is where things get really interesting. What if the urban redevelopment of Lumiose City is not just a human endeavor, but a carefully orchestrated plan involving Zygarde? What if the city's planners are working in harmony with Zygarde, using their knowledge of the ecosystem to guide the city's growth in a sustainable way? Imagine this. Zygarde cells are scattered throughout Lumiose City, monitoring the city's energy flow. They're detecting areas of imbalance, areas where the city is draining too much life force or generating too much pollution. And they're subtly influencing the city's development, guiding the construction of parks and green spaces, promoting the use of renewable energy sources. Could it be that the urban redevelopment project is actually a massive experiment in ecological restoration, guided by the wisdom of Zygarde? A way to create a city that is not only modern and prosperous, but also in harmony with the natural world. Now, I know this is a lot to take in. We've covered a lot of ground tonight, but I hope you're starting to see the bigger picture. The legendary Pokémon of Kalos are not just mythical creatures from ancient stories. They're active participants in the region's fate, shaping its environment and influencing its future. And Pokémon Legends, ZA, is poised to reveal the true extent of their power and influence. Think about the implications. A city built not just for humans, but in collaboration with legendary Pokémon. A city where technology and nature coexist in perfect harmony. A city that serves as a model for sustainable development around the world. It's a bold vision, isn't it? But it's also a vision that is deeply rooted in the lore of the Kalos region. A vision that is waiting to be realized. Now, let's take a step back from the grand scale of legendary Pokémon and focus on something a little more intimate. Something that might seem insignificant at first glance, but that could hold the key to unlocking even deeper secrets about the Kalos region. I'm talking about the Pokémon Flabébé. Yes, Flabébé, the single bloom Pokémon. That tiny, fairy-like creature that's always seen clinging to a flower. What could this seemingly insignificant Pokémon possibly have to do with the fate of Lumiose City? Well, let's start with the basics. Flabébé is unique in that it's always attached to a flower. It chooses a flower when it's born and stays with it for its entire life. The flower is not just a decoration, it's an essential part of Flabébé's being. It draws energy from the flower and uses it to power its fairy-type abilities. But here's the thing. Flabébé doesn't just attach to any flower. It's very particular about the type of flower it chooses. And the color of the flower can actually affect Flabébé's powers and abilities. For example, a Flabébé that's attached to a red flower is said to have stronger offensive abilities, while a Flabébé that's attached to a blue flower is said to have stronger defensive abilities. So, what does this tell us? It tells us that Flabébé is deeply connected to the natural world. It's sensitive to the energy of flowers and uses that energy to enhance its own powers. Now, think about Lumiose City. It's a city of concrete and steel, a place where nature often takes a backseat to human development. But even in the heart of the city, you can still find pockets of green, parks, gardens, and even small patches of wildflowers growing in cracks in the pavement. Could it be that these small pockets of green are vital to the health and well-being of Flabébé populations in Lumiose City? Could it be that the city's urban redevelopment project is actually focused on creating more of these green spaces to provide Flabébé with the flowers they need to survive? And what about the different colors of flowers? Could the city's planners be intentionally planting different colored flowers to influence the powers and abilities of Flabébé populations? Could they be trying to create a city of super-powered Flabébé capable of defending the city from harm? Okay, maybe that's a bit of a stretch. But the point is, Flabébé's connection to flowers is not just a cute detail. It's a fundamental aspect of its being, and it could hold the key to understanding how the city's urban redevelopment project is affecting the local ecosystem. But here's where things get really interesting. According to legend, the first Flabé appeared in Kalos long ago. It was said to have been born from a single seed that fell from the sky. This seed landed in a barren wasteland, and from it sprang a beautiful flower. And from that flower emerged the first Flabébé. This legend suggests that Flabébé is not just a Pokémon. It's a symbol of hope and renewal. A reminder that even in the most desolate of places, life can find a way to flourish. Could it be that this legend is somehow connected to the urban redevelopment of Lumiose City? Could it be that the city's planners are trying to recreate the conditions that led to the birth of the first Flabébé? Could they be trying to transform Lumiose City from a barren wasteland into a thriving ecosystem? It's a romantic idea, isn't it? But it's also an idea that is deeply rooted in the lore of the Kalos region, and it's an idea that could have profound implications for the future of Lumiose City. Now, let's shift gears once again and consider a Pokémon that's a little less delicate. A Pokémon that's known for its strength, its resilience, and its unwavering loyalty. I'm talking about the Pokémon Go-Goat. Go-Goat, the Mount Pokémon. This large, goat-like Pokémon is known for its ability to form strong bonds with humans. It's often used as a mount, allowing people to travel quickly and easily across rough terrain. But Gogoat is more than just a mode of transportation. It's also a symbol of community and connection. In many parts of the Kalos region, Gogoat are used to transport goods and supplies between villages. They're also used in festivals and celebrations, bringing people together in a spirit of joy and camaraderie. Now, think about Lumiose City. It's a bustling metropolis filled with people from all walks of life, but it's also a place of anonymity and isolation. It's easy to get lost in the crowd, to feel disconnected from your neighbors. Could it be that Gogoat are playing a role in bridging these divides? Could they be helping to create a stronger sense of community in Lumiose City? Imagine this. Gogoat are used to transport goods and supplies between different neighborhoods in the city. They're bringing fresh produce from local farms to urban markets, connecting people with the land and with each other. They're also used in community events, providing rides for children and adults alike. They're bringing smiles to people's faces and creating a sense of shared experience. Could it be that Gogoat are actually essential to the social fabric of Lumiose City? Could they be helping to create a more vibrant, connected, and resilient community? But here's where things get really interesting. According to legend, Gogoat have a unique ability to sense the emotions of the people around them. They can tell when someone is feeling sad, angry, or afraid, and they'll often try to comfort them, offering a gentle nuzzle or a reassuring presence. This ability suggests that Gogoat are not just animals, they're empathetic creatures, capable of forming deep emotional bonds with humans. Could it be that this empathy is particularly important in a city like Lumiose? Could Gogoat be helping to heal the emotional wounds of urban life? Could they be providing a sense of comfort and connection to people who are feeling lost and alone? And what about the urban redevelopment project? Could the city's planners be incorporating Gogoat into their plans, creating spaces where people and Pokémon can interact and form meaningful relationships? Could they be designing parks and gardens that are specifically tailored to the needs of Gogoat and the people who ride them? It's a heartwarming idea, isn't it? The image of Gogoat roaming freely through the streets of Lumiose City, bringing joy and connection to everyone they encounter. But it's also an idea that is deeply rooted in the lore of the Kalos region, and it's an idea that could have a profound impact on the future of Lumiose City. We've explored the grand scale of legendaries, the delicate connection of Flabébé, and the communal spirit of Gogoat. But there's one more Pokémon we absolutely must consider, one whose very existence is shrouded in mystery and whose connection to Kalos is undeniable: Diancie. Diancie, the jewel Pokémon. A mythical Pokémon said to be born from a carbank that undergoes a sudden and rare mutation. Diancie possesses the power to create diamonds. Not just any diamonds, but diamonds of exceptional beauty and purity. Now, what does a diamond-creating Pokémon have to do with the urban redevelopment of Lumiose City? At first glance, it might seem like a stretch, but consider this. Lumiose City is a city of fashion, of art, of luxury. It's a place where beauty and elegance are highly valued. And what better symbol of beauty and elegance than a perfectly formed diamond? Could it be that Diancie's diamonds are playing a role in the city's economic and cultural life? Could they be used to create stunning jewelry, to adorn the city's landmarks, to inspire artists and designers? Imagine this. Diancie is secretly creating diamonds somewhere within Lumiose City, perhaps deep beneath the streets or hidden within one of the city's many museums. These diamonds are then distributed throughout the city, enriching its cultural landscape and attracting tourists from around the world. Could it be that Diancie is actually the secret engine of Lumiose City's prosperity? Could it be that the city's wealth and fame are all thanks to this mythical Pokémon's diamond-creating abilities? But here's where things get really interesting. Diancie is not just a creator of diamonds. It's also said to have the power to purify the hearts of those who come into contact with its creations. Its diamonds are said to radiate a sense of peace, of harmony, of inner beauty. This ability suggests that Diancie is not just a source of wealth and luxury, It's also a force for good, capable of transforming the lives of those who are touched by its diamonds. Could it be that Diancie is actually working to heal the city's social and emotional wounds? Could its diamonds be helping to reduce crime, to promote empathy, to inspire acts of kindness and compassion? And what about the urban redevelopment project? Could the city's planners be incorporating Diancie's diamonds into their plans, using them to create spaces that are not only beautiful but also spiritually uplifting? Could they be designing parks and gardens that are infused with the energy of Diancie's diamonds, creating havens of peace and tranquility in the heart of the city? It's an intriguing idea, isn't it? The image of Lumiose City transformed into a shimmering paradise, radiating with the light and beauty of Diancie's diamonds. But it's also an idea that is deeply rooted in the lore of the Kalos region. And it's an idea that could have a profound impact on the future of Lumiose City, transforming it into not just a city of beauty, but a city of hope. So, we've journeyed through the depths of Kalosian lore, exploring the roles of Xerneas, Eveltal, Zygarde, Flabébé, Gogoat, and Diancie. Each Pokémon offers a unique perspective on the region's history, culture, and potential future. And each Pokémon hints at the hidden depths and untold stories that await us in Pokémon Legends ZA. But this discovery was only the beginning, because next we uncover the cultural heart of Kalos and explore how the spirit of France might breathe life into the game's world, bringing new dimensions to this already captivating region. Chapter 13. The Future of Pokémon. What ZA might mean. Okay, so we've journeyed back to Kalos, dissected Lumiose City's potential facelift, and even wrestled with the return of Mega Evolution. We've even dared to dream about the future of this franchise based on the hints dropped so far. But now comes the truly mind-bending part. What does Pokémon Legends ZA for the future of Pokémon? Is this just a one-off experiment, a delightful detour, or is it a signpost pointing towards a dramatically different future for the entire franchise? Think about it. For decades, Pokémon games have largely followed a familiar formula. You get your starter, you battle gyms, you conquer the Elite Four, and you catch 'em all. It's a winning formula, no doubt, but one that some might argue has grown a little predictable. Now Legends, Arceus shook things up, offering a semi-open world, crafting mechanics, and a greater emphasis on Pokémon behavior. But ZA feels different. It feels bolder. The setting alone is a departure. Confining ourselves to a single, albeit sprawling city allows for a level of detail and depth we hadn't seen before. Imagine exploring the intricate alleyways, soaring above the cityscape on a newly mega-evolved Pokémon, or uncovering hidden stories woven into the very fabric of Lumiose City's urban renewal. This isn't just about battling and catching, it's about immersing yourself in a living, breathing world. And that, my friends, is where the real potential lies. ZA could be a testing ground for new gameplay mechanics, for more nuanced storytelling, and for a deeper connection between player and Pokémon. What if the urban development aspect isn't just window dressing? What if your choices as a player directly impact the city's growth and the Pokémon that inhabit it? Imagine managing resources, making strategic decisions about infrastructure, and balancing the needs of humans and Pokémon. This could lead to a future where Pokémon games are less about a linear journey and more about shaping a world. Imagine city-building elements, resource management, and dynamic ecosystems that evolve based on your actions. Forget simply catching Pokémon. What if you could breed them for specific traits, train them for specialized tasks, or even release them back into the wild to help restore a depleted ecosystem? Think about the storytelling possibilities. Instead of a simple good versus evil narrative, ZA could explore complex themes of urban planning, environmentalism, and social justice. What if the redevelopment of Lumiose City is causing unforeseen consequences for certain Pokémon populations? What if there are factions within the city vying for control, each with their own vision for the future? This could usher in an era of Pokémon games with branching narratives, multiple endings, and morally grey choices that force you to confront the consequences of your actions. Imagine forging alliances, making difficult compromises, and ultimately deciding the fate of Lumiose City and its inhabitants. The return of Mega Evolution is another intriguing piece of the puzzle. While it was a popular mechanic in X and Y, it was ultimately phased out in later games. Why bring it back now? And why make it central to the ZA experience? Perhaps it's more than just nostalgia. Perhaps it's a way to reimagine Mega Evolution as a key element of the game's story and gameplay. Imagine Mega Evolution being tied to the city's energy grid, requiring careful resource management and strategic planning. What if certain Pokémon can only Mega Evolve in specific locations or under certain conditions? What if Mega Evolution has unforeseen side effects, both positive and negative, that you must manage? This could lead to a future where Mega Evolution, or some similar form of temporary transformation, is a core mechanic in all Pokémon games, adding a layer of strategic depth and visual spectacle to battles. Imagine customizing your Pokémon's Mega Evolution with different abilities and appearances, tailoring them to your specific playstyle. And let's not forget about the Legends title itself. This isn't just a spin-off, it's a statement. It signals a willingness to experiment, to break from tradition, and to explore new avenues for the Pokémon franchise. What if future Legends games take us to different regions, different time periods, and different corners of the Pokémon world? Imagine a Legends Johto that explores the region's rich history and mythology, or a Legends Unova that delves into the complexities of its diverse culture. Each game could offer a unique gameplay experience, a distinct visual style, and a compelling story that expands the Pokémon universe in unexpected ways. But perhaps the most significant impact of ZA will be on the way we connect with Pokémon. The emphasis on real-time exploration and dynamic environments suggests a desire to create a more immersive and believable world. Imagine interacting with Pokémon in a more natural and meaningful way. Imagine observing their behavior, learning their habits, and building genuine relationships with them. This could lead to a future where Pokémon are more than just creatures to be battled and collected. They could become companions, partners, and even friends. Imagine caring for your Pokémon, training them in specialized skills, and working together to solve problems and overcome challenges. The potential is truly staggering. ZA could be the catalyst that transforms Pokémon from a beloved franchise into a truly groundbreaking and innovative gaming experience. It could be the game that redefines what it means to be a Pokémon trainer. It could be the game that inspires a whole new generation of Pokémon fans. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's important to remember that this is all speculation. We don't know for sure what the future holds for Pokémon. But one thing is certain. ZA has the potential to be something truly special. It has the potential to be a game that we'll be talking about for years to come. It has the potential to be the game that changes everything. So, take a moment to consider what we've discussed. Imagine the possibilities, the potential, the sheer audacity of what ZA could represent. Are we on the cusp of a Pokémon renaissance? Is this the dawn of a new era? Only time will tell. But one thing is for sure, the future of Pokémon is looking brighter than ever. And you, yes you, are a part of it. You're witnessing a potential turning point. You're imagining the unimaginable with me. And that, my friend, is the magic of Pokémon. It's the ability to dream, to wonder, and to believe that anything is possible. But the conversation doesn't end here. We've explored the grand visions, the sweeping possibilities. But what about the nitty-gritty? What about the cultural heart of Kalos? We've touched upon it, yes, but we haven't it. How will the spirit of France, the elegance, the artistry, the history, infuse this new chapter? We need to delve deeper to understand the cultural currents that shape the Kalos region. So, next time, we're trading our binoculars for a passport and immersing ourselves in the Kalosian culture, exploring the region's identity. Get ready to experience the sights, sounds, and soul of a region that is as captivating as it is complex. Because understanding Kalos is understanding the very essence of Pokémon Legends ZA. Chapter 14: Relaxing Soundscapes of Kalos. Ambient Sounds for Sleep. Alright, settle in, friends. Let your shoulders drop, unclench your jaw. We've done the deep dives, the wild theorizing, the what-ifs, and the maybes. Now, it's time for something a little different. Time to let the sounds of Kalos wash over you, to carry you away to a place of peace, a place of, well, hopefully, sleep. Think back to your time in Kalos. What do you remember most? The stunning sunsets over Route 8, the thrill of your first Pokémon encounter in the Santalune Forest, or perhaps the sheer, overwhelming energy of Lumiose City. We're going to try and capture some of that tonight, not through visuals or gameplay analysis, but through sound. We're going to create a series of soundscapes, imagined auditory environments designed to evoke the feeling of being in Kalos, to soothe your mind, and maybe, just maybe, lull you into a peaceful slumber. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Pokémon soundscapes, isn't that a little weird? Well, maybe. But consider this, sound is incredibly powerful. It can trigger memories, evoke emotions, and even alter our brainwaves. We're aiming for the latter, folks. We want to gently nudge your brain into a state of relaxation. So, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let's begin. Our first soundscape takes us to Lumiose City, but not the bustling, crowded Lumiose City you might remember. We're going for a late-night ambience, the city slowly winding down after a long day. Imagine this. The grand boulevards are mostly empty, save for the occasional taxi gliding by on the wet cobblestones. The distant hum of traffic has softened into a gentle white noise, a low thrumming that vibrates through the very foundations of the city. Listen closely. Can you hear it? The faint clatter of a metal shutter being pulled down at a corner cafe, signaling closing time. The whoosh of air as a noctowl soars overhead, its silent wings barely disturbing the stillness. Further away, a lone musician plays a melancholic tune on an accordion, the notes drifting through the cool night air. It's a simple melody, full of longing and quiet beauty, a perfect soundtrack for a city dreaming. And then, there's the rain. A soft, persistent drizzle, pattering against the awnings and reflecting the neon glow of the Prism Tower in shimmering puddles. The rain washes away the day's grime, leaving behind a sense of freshness and renewal. Can you feel it? The cool, damp air on your skin? The quiet solitude of the city at rest? Let the sounds of Lumiose at night envelop you, a gentle lullaby for the urban soul. Now, let's move on. Let's leave the city behind and venture into the more natural landscapes of Kalos. This time, we're heading to the Santalune Forest, but again, not during the day. We're going for a nocturnal experience, a symphony of the forest at night. Imagine yourself standing on a mossy path, surrounded by towering trees that blot out the moonlight. The air is thick with the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves. It's a primal, earthy smell, both comforting and slightly unsettling. The dominant sound here is the rustling of leaves. A gentle breeze whispers through the canopy, creating a constant, soothing susurrus. It's a sound that has been around for millennia, a timeless rhythm that connects us to the natural world. But listen closer. There are other sounds too, more subtle, more mysterious. The hoot of a hoot-hoot echoing through the trees, a lonely call in the darkness. The chirping of crickets, a constant, rhythmic pulse that fills the void. And then there's the sound of water. A small stream gurgling nearby, its gentle flow cutting through the silence. The water trickles over rocks and pebbles, creating a delicate melody that is both calming and invigorating. Perhaps you can even hear the faint scuttling of Pokémon in the undergrowth. A bunnelbee digging for roots, a scatterbug crawling along a branch. These are the sounds of life, hidden and unseen, a reminder that even in the darkness, the forest is teeming with activity. Feel the damp earth beneath your feet? Smell the rich aroma of the forest floor? Let the sounds of Santalune Forest at night wash over you, a primal lullaby that connects you to the earth. Next, let's travel to the coast, to the shores of Azure Bay. Imagine yourself standing on a sandy beach, the waves lapping gently at your feet. The moon hangs high in the sky, casting a silvery glow on the water. The dominant sound here is the ocean, a constant rhythmic ebb and flow that is both mesmerizing and hypnotic. The waves crash against the shore, creating a soothing roar that fills the air. It's a sound that has been around for eons, a timeless rhythm that speaks of power and tranquility. But listen closer. There are other sounds too, more subtle, more delicate. The cry of a wingull overhead, a lonely call carried on the wind. The scuttling of crabs along the sand, their tiny claws clicking against the shells. And then there's the sound of the wind, a gentle breeze blowing off the ocean, carrying with it the scent of salt and seaweed. The wind whispers through the dunes, creating a soft, ethereal melody that is both calming and invigorating. Perhaps you can even hear the faint singing of a lapras in the distance, a mournful song carried across the water, a reminder of the mysteries that lie beneath the waves. Feel the cool sand between your toes. Smell the salty air on your skin. Let the sounds of Azure Bay at night envelop you, a marine lullaby that connects you to the vastness of the ocean. Now, let's venture into a more unique environment. Let's imagine ourselves in Reflection Cave, but not during the day, when trainers are navigating its mirrored paths. We're going for a deep, cavernous experience, a symphony of geological echoes. Imagine yourself standing in a vast chamber, surrounded by shimmering crystals that reflect the faintest light. The air is cool and still, heavy with the scent of minerals and damp stone. The dominant sound here is the silence. A profound, almost deafening silence that is broken only by the occasional drip of water. The water echoes through the chamber, creating a haunting, ethereal sound that is both mesmerizing and unsettling. But listen closer. There are other sounds too, more subtle, more mysterious. The faint rustling of a carbink as it scurries along the walls, its gem-like body glinting in the darkness. The distant rumble of the earth, a reminder of the immense forces that shaped this cave. And then, there's the sound of your own breath. A small, insignificant sound that is amplified by the silence. A reminder of your own vulnerability in this vast, ancient space. Perhaps you can even hear the faint whispers of the crystals themselves, as if they are trying to communicate with you, to share their secrets. Feel the cool stone beneath your feet? Smell the mineral-rich air in your lungs? Let the sounds of Reflection Cave at night envelop you, a geological lullaby that connects you to the heart of the earth. Finally, let's return to Lumiose City, but this time we're going for something different. We're not focusing on the streets or the rain. We're focusing on the sounds from within. We're going for an apartment soundscape, a cozy, intimate experience. Imagine yourself sitting in a comfortable armchair in a small apartment overlooking the city. The curtains are drawn, blocking out the harsh neon lights. A warm lamp casts a soft glow on the room. The dominant sound here is the gentle hum of the city, a low, constant thrumming that is both comforting and familiar. It's the sound of life going on outside, a reminder that you are not alone. But listen closer. There are other sounds too, more subtle, more personal. The ticking of a clock on the wall, a steady rhythmic pulse that marks the passage of time. The soft breathing of your Pokémon companion, curled up at your feet. And then, there's the sound of a book being turned, the rustle of paper, the gentle creak of the spine. You're reading a favorite story, letting the words transport you to another world. Perhaps you can even hear the faint sound of a kettle whistling in the kitchen, signaling that your tea is ready. A warm, comforting beverage to soothe your soul. Feel the soft fabric of the armchair beneath you. Smell the aroma of tea and old books. Let the sounds of a Lumiose City apartment envelop you, a domestic lullaby that connects you to the comforts of home. These are just a few of the many soundscapes that Kalos has to offer. Each one is unique, each one has its own distinct character, and each one hopefully has helped you to relax and unwind. Remember, sound is a powerful tool. Use it to your advantage. Create your own soundscapes, find the sounds that soothe you, and let them carry you away to a place of peace. And now, as the final notes of our Kalosian soundscapes fade away, I hope you're feeling a little more relaxed, a little more at peace. I hope you're ready to drift off to sleep, dreaming of adventure and mystery. But before you do, there's one more thing we need to consider. We've explored the sounds of Kalos, the ambience of Lumiose, the whispers of the forest. But what about thee? What does the absence of sound tell us about the story of Pokémon Legends, ZA? What secrets are hidden in the quiet moments, the spaces between the notes? This, my friends, is what we'll be diving into next time, as we explore the deeper lore of Pokémon and uncover the secrets hidden within the mythos. Sweet dreams and stay tuned. Chapter 15. Final Thoughts and Sleepy Reflections. And so, as we've journeyed through the luminous possibilities of Pokémon Legends, ZA, perhaps your eyelids are starting to feel a little heavy. That's alright. Let the echoes of Lumiose City, the whispers of Mega Evolution, and the promise of a revitalized Kalos region gently lull you towards a peaceful slumber. Tonight we've dared to dream, haven't we? To imagine a Pokémon world where the familiar intertwines with the groundbreaking, where the past breathes new life into the future, and where the very essence of a beloved region is re-examined through a lens of innovation. But before we drift off completely, let's take a moment to gather the threads of our exploration, to weave them together into a tapestry of understanding, a final reflection on the potential that Pokémon Legends ZA holds within its digital code. Remember the initial shock, the wave of nostalgia that washed over us when the Kalos region was revealed. It wasn't just a return to a familiar place, it was a promise of something more, something reimagined. And then there's Lumiose City itself, a sprawling metropolis now potentially undergoing a radical transformation. The very idea sparked debates, didn't it? What could this urban redevelopment mean? What hidden narratives lie beneath the gleaming surface of this iconic city? Could we be facing complex themes of social justice, environmental responsibility, or even the ethical implications of progress itself? The questions, like the city's twisting streets, seemed endless. And Mega Evolution? Oh, the debates that raged. Was it a relic of the past, or a mechanic with untapped potential? We delved into the reasons why Game Freak might have chosen to resurrect it, considering its possible integration into the Legends-style gameplay. Imagine the possibilities. Mega Evolution. Not as a temporary power boost, but as a key to understanding the very fabric of Kalosian history and the secrets of its powerful Pokémon. The Legends title, it's more than just a label, isn't it? It's a statement, a declaration that this isn't just another spin-off. It's a bold step towards innovation, a willingness to challenge the established norms of the Pokémon franchise. It suggests a grander scope, a more ambitious narrative, and a gameplay experience that dares to be different. And what about the commercial implications? Let's be honest, this game is poised to be a massive hit. A commercial juggernaut disguised as a mere spin-off. It's a strategic move, a calculated play to keep the Pokémon flame burning brightly as Nintendo navigates the transition to its next console. Speaking of consoles, the platform strategy is fascinating, isn't it? Pokémon Legends ZA could be the bridge, the anchor that keeps players engaged as we move into a new era of gaming. It's a smart move, leveraging the power of a beloved franchise to ensure a smooth transition. Then we have the starters. A seemingly simple choice, yet brimming with implications. Choosing starters from different generations? Could this signal a shift in how Pokémon games approach the concept of starter lineage? Could we be on the verge of a broader remixing of generations, a blending of past and present that could redefine the very essence of the Pokémon world? The real-time and night battle zones, these are game changers, a departure from the traditional turn-based combat that has defined the franchise for so long. It's a bold move, a clear indication that Game Freak is committed to pushing the boundaries of Pokémon gameplay, embracing new paradigms, and offering us a truly fresh experience. And, of course, the fan theories. The internet has been buzzing with speculation, haven't they? Unraveling the mysteries, piecing together clues, and constructing elaborate theories about the game's plot and mechanics. It's a testament to the passion and dedication of the Pokémon community, a community that thrives on speculation and thrives on the thrill of discovery. We summarized the known facts, didn't we? We drew connections, identified potential hidden hints, and explored the clues that could shed light on the game's story and mechanics. But the truth is, much remains shrouded in mystery. And that's part of the excitement, isn't it? The anticipation of the unknown. We explored the unique culture and history of the Kalos region, drawing parallels to real-world French culture. How will these elements be incorporated into the game? Will echoes of French architecture, art, and music woven into the fabric of Lumiose City and its surrounding landscapes? And what about the Pokémon lore? We delved into the origins, abilities, and potential connections of specific Pokémon that are likely to play a significant role in Pokémon Legends, ZA Azerius, Eveltal, Zygarde. Their stories are intertwined with the fate of Kalos. But what secrets do they still hold? Finally, we speculated on the potential impact of Pokémon Legends, ZA, on the future of the Pokémon franchise. How might it influence future game design, storytelling, and overall direction? Could this be the game that ushers in a new era of Pokémon, an era defined by innovation, experimentation, and a willingness to challenge the status quo? As you settle into your pillows, let these reflections wash over you. Let the possibilities of Pokémon Legends, ZA, fuel your dreams. Think of the bustling streets of Lumiose City, now perhaps even more vibrant and alive than before. Hear the distant hum of technology, the chatter of citizens, the melodic cries of Pokémon echoing through the air. Imagine the gentle glow of the Prism Tower illuminating the night sky, a beacon of hope and progress. Picture yourself strolling through the lush forests of Kalos, the rustling leaves whispering secrets in your ear. Feel the cool breeze on your skin, the warmth of the sun on your face. See the vibrant colors of the flowers, the playful movements of Pokémon darting through the trees. Imagine the serene beauty of the Kalosian coastline, the gentle lapping of waves against the shore. Hear the calls of seabirds, the distant rumble of the ocean. Feel the sand between your toes, the salty air filling your lungs. And now, let's bring those soundscapes to life, shall we? Let's create a space where you can truly relax, unwind, and drift off to sleep. Imagine you are standing in the heart of Lumiose City at night. The air is cool and crisp, carrying the faint scent of pastries from a nearby bakery. The sounds of the city are muted, softened by the darkness. You hear the gentle hum of the Prism Tower, a low rhythmic thrum that seems to vibrate through the very ground beneath your feet. In the distance, you hear the faint strains of music drifting from a cafe. A mellow jazz tune played on a saxophone, its notes weaving through the air like threads of silk. The sound is comforting, familiar, like an old friend whispering secrets in your ear. Closer by, you hear the soft chatter of people passing by. Their voices are hushed, their laughter muffled. They speak in French, their words flowing together in a melodic stream. You don't understand what they're saying, but the sound is soothing, a reminder of the city's vibrant culture. You hear the gentle whirring of the go-goat taxis as they glide through the streets. Their lights are soft and warm, casting a gentle glow on the cobblestones. The sound is rhythmic, hypnotic, like a lullaby. And then you hear the calls of Pokémon. A fletchling chirps from a nearby rooftop, its voice clear and bright. A Purloin meows softly from an alleyway, its eyes gleaming in the darkness. These sounds are a reminder that even in the heart of the city, nature is always present. As you close your eyes, you feel a sense of peace wash over you. The sounds of Lumiose City at night are a symphony of tranquility, a lullaby that soothes the soul. Now, let's journey to the forests of Kalos. Imagine you are lying on a bed of soft moss, surrounded by towering trees. The air is still and quiet, broken only by the rustling of leaves and the gentle breeze. You hear the chirping of crickets, a constant, rhythmic sound that fills the air. Their song is hypnotic, a reminder of the slow, steady rhythm of nature. In the distance, you hear the hooting of an owl. Its voice is deep and resonant, echoing through the trees. It's a sound that speaks of wisdom and mystery, a reminder of the ancient secrets hidden within the forest. You hear the gentle babbling of a stream, its waters flowing over smooth stones. The sound is soothing, calming, like a gentle massage for the mind. You hear the calls of Pokémon. A scatterbug flits through the trees, its wings rustling softly. A pancham munches on bamboo leaves, its jaws working slowly and deliberately. These sounds are a reminder of the vibrant life that thrives within the forest. As you close your eyes, you feel a sense of connection to nature. The sounds of the Kalosian forest are a symphony of tranquility, a lullaby that nourishes the soul. Finally, let's visit the Kalosian coastline. Imagine you are lying on the beach, the warm sand beneath you. The air is salty and fresh, carrying the scent of the ocean. You hear the gentle lapping of waves against the shore. The sound is rhythmic, hypnotic, like a heartbeat. In the distance, you hear the calls of seabirds. Their voices are sharp and clear, echoing across the water. They are a reminder of the vastness and freedom of the ocean. You hear the gentle creaking of a fishing boat as it bobs on the waves. The sound is comforting, familiar, a reminder of the simple life of the coastal villages. You hear the calls of Pokémon. A wingull soars overhead, its wings catching the sunlight. A shelder burrows into the sand, its shell gleaming in the light. These sounds are a reminder of the abundant life that thrives in the ocean. As you close your eyes, you feel a sense of peace and serenity. The sounds of the Kalosian coastline are a symphony of tranquility, a lullaby that washes away all your worries. And now, as the ambient sounds of Kalos fade into the background, let's return to our final thoughts on Pokémon Legends ZA. We've explored its potential, its possibilities, its secrets. But what is the ultimate takeaway? Perhaps it's this: Pokémon Legends ZA represents a turning point for the franchise. A moment of evolution, a step towards something new and exciting. It's a game that dares to challenge the established norms, to experiment with new gameplay mechanics, and to explore deeper, more meaningful narratives. It's a game that embraces the past while looking towards the future. A game that celebrates the rich history of the Pokémon world while paving the way for new adventures and new discoveries. It's a game that reminds us why we fell in love with Pokémon in the first place: the sense of wonder, the thrill of exploration, the joy of connection. And as you drift off to sleep, remember this: the world of Pokémon is always evolving, always changing, always surprising us, and Pokémon Legends ZA is just the beginning. But even with all these possibilities swirling in our minds, there's one question that lingers, a question that could redefine everything we think we know about the Kalos region. A question that delves into the very heart of Lumiose City's redevelopment project. A question that, perhaps, only Pokémon Legends ZA can answer. What if this urban renewal isn't just about progress? What if it's about containment? And what is being contained?
If this story resonated with you, there's plenty more. Click the video on screen to keep the journey going, or dive into the full Pokémon playlist for more stories, memories, and deep dives. Whichever path you choose, I'll see you there, trainer.